Sacramento. There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local.
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
Well, that would have been hard to do. Had to swing my arm around. Good Monday. And we're all in studio. Again. Like, that's like a big deal for us. It's like every other show in the world. They're always in studio. Us, special occasion. Jason Ross doing his Jane Fonda workout.
Yes.
My mom used to do that like 3 times a week.
Really?
When I was a really little kid. Yeah.
Did you ever join in?
Absolutely. Yeah. 100% did. Back when, like, so funny, the older you get, stuff that seems so silly. Like, I don't remember being this young, but I know from watching my kids and every other kid that ever existed that there's an age, and I don't know what the cutoff is, where it's basically your best mode of transportation around the house. Your default is to run everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
just run. Got to go to the bathroom, run. Coming downstairs from, you wake up in the morning, you run downstairs or run into the room. I remember we had a little 2-story, and I'd hit those stairs, and I would wake up every morning. I would hit the stairs, sit down, and slide all the way down. Get up. I'm running for the day.
Yes. We had hardwood floors.
Yeah.
Like in one of our houses, and I would always run, and then just the
risky business.
Yeah, but I would never not do that. Never.
No, you
always.
had to.
Yeah.
100%. Good morning, everybody. Monday, August 8th, 2022.
22.
4 more Sundays till football.
Okay.
50, I think it's 55 or 56 days until the first Kings preseason game. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to get to the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, why are we in the tunnel? Anyway.
Why not? You can watch us on the tube. Go to YouTube and search Sactown Sports 1140.
I see Jay Mars back there.
Is he?
He's over my shoulder.
J. Mars over my shoulder. Oh, Mike Barnbaum with a happy birthday week. I get a week?
Wow.
100 trillion% of the age where I'm cool with not having any more birthdays. Absolutely okay.
Yeah, but they're pretty important to have.
Well, like, that's
not acknowledging the number, you mean?
Yeah, they are important to have. But you go from like, oh, I can't wait, it's going to be my birthday, to like, all right, it's kind of enough to Yeah, you made it another year. Good for you.
When is the cutoff time too? By the way, of the half birthday, I'm 8.5. I'm 10.5.
Yeah.
25.
How?
25. He says. My mom, it was so cool. My mom was great about that because February 11th is my half birthday. I don't know, probably till I was like 12. I'd get like, it wouldn't be I wouldn't get a present. If I did get a present, it would be like a milkshake at McDonald's, something silly, but she would acknowledge
something.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I wouldn't get like, a car or that was a leap. I wouldn't get, it wouldn't be like a gift.
Yeah, 9-year-old Dave didn't get that car on his half birthday.
My daughter will be eligible to drive in 2 years, and I don't think we made a decision. We're not going to let our kids drive until they're 18. I just I think that the laws of the age limits, I think, are off in this country. I really do. I don't.
Interesting.
I do not. I turned 18 in August, and that February was out of the house, and my dad, true to form, was like, "You're 18. Your clock's ticking." And he, he'd come in every once in a while, and I know he regrets it now because now it's like, "You don't want to ever call." But back then, every month, every once in a while, he'd poke his head into my room or something. Like, "Oh, any prospects on an apartment? What do you think? Roommates?" He wanted me out and ready to go. There is no way, unless it's college, my kids are. I've already told them 21. 21 is the cutoff. That's when and I think that should be the legal age. Personally, I think 21 should be the legal age when you're an adult.
You did okay.
I did.
He did okay.
I did okay. Despite
heavy emphasis on the okay.
No, but I slept in cars in Omaha, Nebraska. I was, broke and destitute and
so 21 it would have been better.
I listen, I was not a grown-up. Hell, I wasn't a grown-up. I think 30 is when I became a grown-up.
I was gonna say, man, our prefrontal cortex doesn't develop as quickly as women, so it's more like 26, 27 is when it finally starts to settle in, like, oh.
Yeah, listen, dude, I'm still kind of an idiot, but I was an absolute moron until I was probably 25. Just I look back and things I said, things I did, and just all that. I go, God, what were you? And God forbid if social media exists. If social, I can tell you right now, social media existed when I was 18, 25. I wouldn't be doing radio. I'll tell you, I wouldn't do anything with public light. Like it's just, you're just an idiot. I wouldn't have been equipped to handle a gun in the military. Are you kidding me? Or do whatever those things. I mean, drinking's 21. You can vote at 18.
Right.
21, Jason.
From the YouTube chat, Joe Bob, Omaha, Nebraska is a nice place.
He's right. It is. It
Could
really
you live there again?
No, only because
it's not that nice, Joe Bob.
Well, here's why. I couldn't live there again because while I have kids, I wouldn't uproot them and move there. And then kids gone, that's not where I want to end up. But I would certainly, there are times like we actually had a conversation about moving to Omaha, and it was a very brief conversation, and raising the kids there. We lived in a little suburb called La Vista and then Papillion. And
love Papillion.
Papillion's great.
That was Papillon.
And Omaha was like a Midwestern Sacramento. It very, very similar kind of sprawling layout.
Or is Sacramento a Pacific
Omaha.
Omaha Dave.
There's a lot of
Omaha Dave.
There's a lot in common between the two cities, except the people there are even nicer. The people in Omaha, Nebraska per capita are nicer than the people here. And I love this town.
But that weather.
Yeah, not great.
Hey, it's colder. You like that?
Not that cold. Nope.
Very specific.
The two places I've lived out of here are Omaha and St. Paul, Minnesota. And St. Paul is a whole different thing. St. Paul is an entirely different animal altogether. That is like death cold. It's just not. It's things that if you're a native or if you have lived your whole life here and never lived in a cold weather city, you don't know things like a mud room. You don't understand things like, and obviously it was a little different back then, but like,
the old mud room.
you come in from outside and it's snowy and muddy and gross and you're in your boots and you have an ante room, if you will, before you get into the house.
What about an uncle room?
That would
Easy, Pete.
What I say that that's coming up later. That was all like either hardwood or a Berber like stain-free carpet or something. You had a room to take off your winter clothes and mud and all that crap.
The mud room.
Then you went in the house, and it was always like -12 outside and then 94 inside. Or getting up imagine this, getting up in the morning, let's say sometime in the, where it's dark before you leave. And you get up, you get a cup of coffee, you go from 94 to -12, which, boy, is that a wake-up call.
Sure.
To go start your car, turn on the heater, and then we would take a CD jewel case, the plastic CD cases, because we were too stupid to go get an actual scraper, and you're scraping the snow off of your windshield and your back window, and then you just let the defrost hit, and then by the time you get in the car, you're good to go. But there's no better way to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You're up, you're awake.
Oh yeah,
it's like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Yep. I used to get
Omaha.
In Omaha, it's cold, but then it's hot and humid.
Yeah, and
there's a little bit in between, and everybody hunts. Everybody I remember out there is like a big hunter. But with that's something we don't really see either. The channel I watched more than anything was the Weather Channel. The weather there is fascinating.
Yeah.
We don't get weather here. We get sun, we get rain, maybe a thunderstorm. Oh, hey, there's a tornado watch in Kern County, and touchdown at a farm, and a chicken flew. Like that's, and good.
Yeah.
We get fires, we get earthquakes. Out there, oh my God. Tornadoes coming, everyone get in the basement, or here's a lightning storm, but it's the only time it's ever been like in the movies. In the movies, there's like the haunted looking house, and then the lightning happens and the thunderclap happens simultaneously.
Right.
It doesn't happen in real life, right? It's lightning and then 1, 2, 3. No, that's the only time I've ever seen it where it was immediate.
Simultaneous.
And have you ever been, not like gotten by one, but have you ever been in the vicinity of a lightning strike enough to hear it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm not talking about the thunder. I'm talking about the window shaking clap.
Mm-hmm.
That is it's
frightening,
incredibly jarring sound.
Yeah. And
I don't like it. They also have lightning. They have fireflies out there. I've said this before. They're called lightning bugs. How was your weekend?
That's great.
I'm in Omaha, Rand. I'm sorry. I don't know why. They're good people.
They have good steaks.
Is that why that happened? Because you and I talked about that randomly earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. Omaha came up somehow.
I don't know how Omaha came, because I got a weird brain.
I think it was when we were talking about that one thing in the show meeting that we'll talk about later with a baseball player. Just come up there.
No.
Okay.
Well, Pete?
No, I was talking about like the bats. Omaha is a very popular baseball town.
I'm missing it too.
It's fine.
Well, no, we want to be in on the joke.
You're not going to.
Okay. We'll take a break. When we come back, a new yet familiar Sacramento King joins the roster. The Giants sort of get back on track.
They won twice.
They played a double-A team.
Wow, well, they beat them.
Triple A, come on.
Are they?
They are.
And a huge crowd goes bird watching. Leading off is next.
You ask for more 49ers coverage, and Sactown Sports 1140 listen.
Let's go, Niner gang!
Get all the latest 49ers news and notes online at SactownSports.com. Plus, make sure to follow us on IG at Sactown1140 for Emil Fergoso's live post-game show following every game.
That is what we expect out of the Niner gang.
Niners win! Your home for the most 49ers coverage in Sacramento. Sactown Sports 1140. Let's do it. It's time for Leading Off. Brought to you by Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge, where for over 60 years, their name means a great deal in Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com. Here's cut number 1.
Swings it now. Gorgie Jang with a drive and a kick. Safe and going out of bounds. But a steal by Kent Bazemore. Breaks away into the open court. Goes for the soft two-hand flush. Huge sequence right there on a timely steal from Kent Bazemore. Kings lead at 83-75.
Baby, get used to that.
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Back again. Kenneth's back. Tell a friend. And, Monty McNair, he said he wasn't done.
Didn't lie.
Did not lie. Kent Bazemore joins. Now, and by the way, y'all were wondering why that dude made the finals bets. Now we know.
Oh,
he knew.
Put that together.
Oh, that sounds disrespectful to Kent Bazemore. It's good to have him back. He by all accounts is a really good dude. But we don't care about really good dude. We care more about, what can you help with on the
Can you get the buckets?
Right. Can you do the thing?
Yeah.
Also, how trash is the Lakers organization that 2 players now from their team last year have come and signed in Sacramento willingly?
How trash is the Kings organization that the Lakers missed the playoffs and we signed 2 of their cast-offs?
Pretty trash.
Yeah, okay. We're
How
both.
trash?
How trash is it? No, obviously Malik Monk was a great signing, and we hope. And Kent Bazemore, this is just one of those I don't know. There's a term we should make up for this. He's not the caliber of player, but the Zach Randolph, the Vince Carter, he's not going to start. He's not going to make a huge difference. He's not going to, but he's a professional.
Yeah.
He's a pro's pro. Let me think. He brings his lunch pail to work every day.
He's depth. He's another wing.
He's another wing, which truly, small 3, but 6'4". And someone's got to go. Rosters
At some point, yep.
1 over.
Yeah.
And they may not be done yet.
True.
Also made his own breakfast in the bubble, which I always thought was great. He called it was it Brekkie with Bays?
I think it was BREKKY.
Yeah.
That sounds very, very
What was he
familiar.
making?
Well, he got shut down. They made him they're like, no, you can't do that anymore. You need to come, whether eat our food or something. Yeah, he got in trouble for
He
it.
got in trouble. He got fined alone. Probably not.
Because he made his own breakfast.
Hey, I had ricotta pancakes on Saturday, by the way. Oh, my
Pancakes
God. Did you really? Have you ever had ricotta pancakes?
No.
Oh, they're so good and moist. It was wonderful. I've never had ricotta pancake in my life.
What else was in them?
Pancake?
That's it? Just plain
I
pancakes?
got to look at the recipe, but I know it was ricotta pancakes with
I know
blueberry
Kent Bazemore
syrup.
wasn't making
no.
ricotta pancakes.
No. Oh,
A good pancake doesn't need syrup.
Okay, you can leave.
really?
Well, much like
Don't really, because if I would have said that, you would have just trashed me.
I guess because the pancakes I made yesterday were blueberry banana.
They had stuff in it.
Yes.
Okay.
So not just a plain piece of
We
bread.
agree.
I know, but had I said it, you would have called me all sorts of names where he says it. Oh, really? Huh, I'm intrigued at this prospect. You're such a jerk.
Yeah, but
No, I don't know.
Jason's nicer than you.
I'm a nice guy.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a clip still out there where when I got those other headphones I couldn't ever unroll,
Mhm.
and I couldn't get it to turn around so I could put them on. Kyle was on the show, and there's a promo that used to run on YouTube, and I was trying to figure out, and you're all, figure it out, stupid.
Mm.
I've never forgotten that.
Apparently you haven't.
It was on the script.
Number 2.
Cut number 2.
Number 2.
Lowry, ground ball towards short. Crawford's got it. He's going to throw to first. Got him for out number 3. And the ball game is over. The Giants make it 2 in a row here at the Coliseum. They win the Bay Bridge Series. They take home that Bay Bridge trophy. They take 3 out of 4 for the A's this season.
Go ahead, taunt them. Taunt the A's. You swept them.
It's not. That's the thing. And I was
Get them.
I was dining with a A's fan last night, friend of ours, and we had to talk about it. And it's one of those, it sounds like you're really being mean, but I'm truly not. I take no joy out of beating the A's. I take because they're a freaking double-A
You
team.
would have rather have lost twice.
No, I'm just really indifferent, and not that I don't care about baseball indifferent, but the A's are not a Major League Baseball team.
What if this starts a run? A perfect August.
That'd be awesome. But who are we playing? The Padres? Boy, the Padres.
The Padres.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. That's my two favorite teams.
Swept Diego.
Yeah, boy, we'll get to that later. But
Nice.
boy, are they going to be in a bad mood?
Yeah.
You know?
You wouldn't like them when they're angry.
6-4 is your final. It just listen, yay! I just can't. I can't get excited because and me saying that about the A's is in no way. I know it sounds terrible. I'm not taunting them. I feel horrible for them, and I hate John Fisher, and I hate what they're doing, and I hope that this deal happens for the stadium contingent on him selling to Joe Lacob, and then A's fans can have a good owner and a great stadium and be done. I take no joy as an A's fan. All my pseudo rivalry, we beat you. No, this is a AA team that's been decimated and decimated and decimated again. And then, they lost. Okay, well, and the Giants are probably John Fisher's favorite team because they come in. What was it like? 80,000 over 2 days, 80,000
It was great
plus.
attendance, yeah.
It was awesome. That's a great atmosphere. But imagine, I don't know. I just put myself in a Kings fan. It's like the Warriors beat the Kings at Golden One Center, but the Maloofs still owned them and we're still broke. And usually we'd put 8,000 in the seats because the team sucks. But those two games were sold out, and the Warriors clobbered us, and it was Warriors taking over Golden One Center. And I can just imagine how we've had stuff like that happen, how horribly terrible I would feel, embarrassed, angry, all that stuff. And so for me, I guess Kings fan-wise, I channel that through the A's over the weekend, and I can't imagine being an A's fan having to watch that crap.
It's been a brutal year. Yeah, brutal year for them.
Number 3.
Cut number 3.
The fans filing into Climate Pledge Arena for the largest crowd in Storm history. The lines outside started early this morning, and they go for blocks. These adoring fans ready to show their gratitude for the greatest athlete in the history of Seattle sports.
And then they lost 89-81.
Jay Buhner retired last night?
Yeah. Sue Bird, 19 seasons.
Athlete in Seattle sports. That's interesting.
The what?
The last line, the greatest athlete in Seattle sports?
That's
That's a power statement.
right.
Nope.
I mean, think about some of the athletes that have come through that city. Oh, phone call
Hello?
early.
Oh, wow. Who's calling in?
Hey, Ken.
Oh, Ken
Junior.
Phelps.
Junior, how you
Oh.
doing? Yeah, no, it's Ken. Yeah, no, I know. Hyperbole. No, she's probably top 3, but yeah.
Ask Ken who else is on the list.
Hey, who okay. He said something about a glove.
Oh, Gary Payton.
Gary Payton.
Oh.
Gary Payton.
Yeah.
Gary Payton. Do you guys have any you want to run by Ken or?
I didn't know
Man,
if-
there's so many.
he might be calling in from Denver, but I don't know if Russell would.
Russell,
Russell,
friend Russell.
Russell was he still? Yeah, no, he said Ken
Okay.
Jr. says Russell Wilson,
Okay.
but he says that's your argument. Okay, okay, hey, that backwards. He says,
Ichiro wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
no, he wasn't actually. He says that's probably the best argument is Bird or Russ Wilson.
Randy Johnson.
Randy, yeah. I'm with you. I'm trying. I don't know why I'm stuck on.
They had the greatest
Mariners.
designated hitter of all time.
There's
I know it's not an athlete.
Edgar Martinez.
Yeah, no, yeah, our DH's athletes 339
Yeah, sure.
1140.
Brian Bosworth.
No.
Hold on. Is there another? Come on. There's
Gotta be someone who played on the Sounders.
There's gonna be another Seahawk.
Richard Sherman.
Is Russell Wilson the greatest Seahawk
Yes.
It's hard to say he's not.
ever?
Yes.
He kind of is, right?
Between him and Sean Alexander.
5 touchdowns on Monday Night Football. Anyway, Sue Bird.
Sean Alexander, Pro Football's Al Bundy.
He was on my fantasy team. I'll never forget. 19 seasons, an amazing
Yes.
run. 18,100 people packed Climate
That's
Pledge
awesome.
Arena.
That is awesome.
That really is. Getting 18,000 for a regular season WNBA game is an awesome benchmark. It's really cool. That league is enjoying a really good time right now, and it's awesome to see. Big loss for Seattle, by the way. They could have moved within a game of Las Vegas in the standings with a win. Yeah, it's just yeah. We'll take a break. When we return, golf says goodbye to a familiar. Nobody died, by the way. I know it's been
just goodbye.
Just a goodbye. And a new ring for an old Niner. I'm not talking about his phone ringtone. We'll talk about that next.
The start of the NFL season is upon us, and Sactown Sports 1140 has all your coverage.
Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and of course, all the NFL action every Sunday.
Your home for the NFL all season long. Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
My wife has seen the movie Encino Man.
Same.
Son-in-law, in the Army now, jury duty, Biodome.
Same.
Just one for me of those.
I've seen two.
She's never seen, I found this out yesterday. She has never seen Ricky Bobby.
Oh.
Really?
That fits in that.
But
that group.
she's like has the Pauly Shore DVD collection.
Pauly Shore and Brendan Fraser are like her two biggest movie stars.
Okay, Brendan Fraser.
And Ernest.
Brendan Fraser in the 90s had real potential.
I agree with you there.
Pauly Shore never, but
Pauly Shore, Brendan Fraser, Ernest.
Okay, Ernest is great.
I'll have to find the fourth on her Mount Lame more. But it's just another movie. She
Hasn't seen Talladega Nights.
Hasn't seen Talladega Nights.
She's seen Anchorman.
Doesn't want to watch. Yeah, doesn't want to watch Airplane because she doesn't like slapstick. So Naked Gun, she just thinks it's dumb.
I feel like there's like a statute of limitation on those movies where like you
well,
watch
on
them
Airplane,
now.
there's Airplane. Yeah.
But no, but there are movies like that where if you didn't watch them in their time and you try to do it now, it's just not. That happened with me. What did Alexa try to show me? And I just couldn't get through it. 90s. Will Ferrell.
90s.
Anchorman?
No, that was 2000s. Where they're at the club.
Night of the Roxbury.
Night of the Roxbury.
Yeah,
Could not get into it.
I did not see that one.
I did not enjoy that either. Interesting note, by the way, we're referencing Airplane, and then we'll get on. I found this out not that long ago. So whenever we say like what we're talking about is the two men of color on the plane that are speaking and there's subtitles underneath, and obviously that would not fly today. Here's what I did not know, that the two gentlemen that played those roles, they literally wrote that like they wrote it out themselves as part of getting the part with I think it was Abrams and Zucker were the directors. The Abrams or one of them's brothers, the Abrams brothers or the Zucker brothers. But anyways, they wrote it out, and I saw this whole I saw a clip of this whole interview with them. It was actually the actors who played those roles. It was actually really fascinating because they were like, it wasn't just gibberish. Like you could connect the words we were saying with like where the subtitle would say like Arthur wants a steak, and the whole thing there. And he's like, we worked on that whole thing. It wasn't just off the cuff.
I gotcha.
I would have never, ever guessed that.
Well, and the brilliant part of it too is just tying in Barbara Billings. It's just perfect.
Beaver's mom coming in. Just again, would not fly today, but that was a footnote to that. So yeah, I got to get my wife, whether it's Tombstone or something like it's just, and we're coming up later today. We're going to have a very
Tombstone holds up well.
Tombstone holds up amazingly.
Yeah, Tombstone holds up really well.
There's a really big movie anniversary. Yeah, today we're going to talk about later, and a movie that up until 2 years ago my wife also hadn't seen.
Okay, did she like it?
She did, and it was really the first. It was the most hardcore movie we ever showed my children at the time. Like it was a big step for them because it had some swearing and anyways, welcome back. A couple of things. Quick note here, and I know this isn't in the rundown, gentlemen, but this just kind of showed up. I thought this was interesting. The inaugural season of the Saudi-backed LIV Golf Tour. They call it the Live Golf Tour, but we call it the LIV because it's a Roman numeral, 54. Now, here's the thing, and we've said this before. I knew one of these. 54 represents the amount of players they have in the field. Did you know 54 is also the number you would get if you birdied every single hole in an 18-hole course, assuming it is a par 72? And also, did you know there is a clause that if any player on the LIV Tour does that, they will get a $54 million bonus.
Wow.
Did not know that.
Well, and also, isn't that the amount of holes they play?
Yes, it is for the whole weekend.
Yeah,
so
three
there's
rounds.
a whole 5-4 thing. I still don't know why they don't call it LIV. They have no TV partner. They're on YouTube. And by the way, no American TV partner. They have partners in other countries. But coming up in the off season, when that's done, 26 of 180 countries have TV deals with the LIV Tour. And their CEO or whoever saying that's going to change. We're going to be working with TV groups. CBS and NBC off the table because of their deals with the PGA Tour. That will not happen. So that leaves a few others. And really, honestly, it's going to be Fox. It's going to be Fox. Yeah. Don't we kind of know it's going to be Fox?
I would think so.
I think Fox is, I want to say, and I could be wrong here, I want to say Fox is only golf package I remember is as of recently. I think they do the U.S. Open.
They did. They had it.
They had it. And they don't have it anymore. Okay, well there you go. And it just fits. Perfectly with them. Speaking of golf, Nick Faldo, longtime analyst for CBS, but also more importantly, Sir Nick Faldo. He didn't get the Sir from the analyzing. He got the Sir from his play. Once upon a time, he was actually a really, really good golfer. And he signed up. This is his last year. He's got a ranch in Montana. He's building out, and he's going to go raise alpacas with his wife, Lindsay. And here's the sign off from Nick.
Thanks to all the crew. You're, as I affectionately and respectfully call you, the workers. They put the pictures out. We do the rattling. We have an easy job. Thank you all. Means I'm a single child, and I've found at 65 3 brothers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Bless you.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Super emotional.
I'm a single child, and at what do you say, the age of 50 or 60 or whatever, I found 3 brothers.
Yeah,
that's great.
I think it was obviously Nance, Ian. Gosh, I forgot Ian's last name. That's the booth with
not Woos.
No,
Ian. No, not Ian Poulter. Ian. Damn it! Why am I blanking?
Anyway, former golfer. That's been an analyst
yeah.
with him for 16 years. Yeah, there's 4 of them in the booth.
That's
great. It was nice. It was really nice. He was that was cut down. He was really choked up before that.
I used to think Nick Faldo came off as so pompous, and then as the years went on, okay,
very likable.
He's very, very likable. Really good.
Yeah,
Nance and Faldo, dare I say, is like, I don't know, for this generation is like the golf equivalent of Madden and Summerall. You know, they're just fantastic.
Well, they do so many events. I mean, CBS has so much of the golf coverage.
They're synonymous with that. And what a cool, what a great life. You're traveling to some of the most beautiful places in the world. And it really is. The golf circuit really is almost a traveling circus.
For sure.
It's the same people for the most part. You go from place to place. Hey, you want to meet at this place for dinner? Awesome. Great. You get there. The week starts. You probably, I'll bet if they want, Nance and Faldo anywhere, but Nance, the whole crew, they probably can very easily get on for a round on the Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I wonder when they get there because generally, unless it's a major, they're not broadcasting until Saturday and Sunday.
True.
And tournaments start Thursday, but doesn't mean, they're not aware what's going on, or are they watching? Are they calling some stuff on some of the other, I don't know.
I've wondered that too. And also the prep, because you hear a lot of anecdotes, like, earlier in the week, Jason Day said, is that them having a sit down like Al Michaels, and those guys do with the football players,
right?
Or, is that a producer or something like that? It was Hall of Fame weekend, ex-49er Bryant Young talking about his son's favorite number and really the greatest number in sports.
In this, my 10th year of eligibility, I entered the Hall as a member of its 22. It was Kobe's favorite number. Thank you.
And gonna say something. Is this the greatest 14 days ever for the number 22? You had Will Clark, Bryant Young, and Bryant with he's telling his son a story. You might have heard.
It's super emotional about his son, which is incredible.
The story about his son. Who, by the way, I know a lot of people probably they got confused because they heard Kobe. He's talking about his son Colby, and it's I'll let him say it.
I've introduced 5 of our children. Now I'd like to let you meet Kobe. Born in August 2001, Kobe loved life. He had an infectious smile, many interests, including football. He was a happy kid. In fall 2014, when he was 13, Kobe started having headaches. A CAT scan revealed a brain tumor. Kai had just had knee surgery and deserved our full attention, but our focus and hers shifted to Kobe. 5 days later, surgeons removed the tumor and told us it was cancer. Kobe was back at school 8 days later. His spirits were good. He had the heart of a lion. My injury seemed trivial. Knowing radiation would weaken him, doctors told Kobe to give up football. It absolutely broke his heart. He turned the page and focused on basketball. The treatments were hard. Kobe showed immense courage. He felt good for months. We really were hopeful. The following October, Kobe said, "Dad, I have a headache." The cancer was back. Doctors tried immunotherapy, but it had spread too far too fast. Kobe sensed where things were heading and had questions. He didn't fear death as much as the process of dying. Would it be painful? Would he be remembered? We assured Kobe we keep his memory alive and continue speaking his name. On October 11, 2016, God called Kobe home. Kobe, you live on in our hearts. We will always speak your name.
I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he spoke. I don't know how he got through one line of that, but that doesn't get less emotional the more you hear it. Congratulations to Bryant Young and well said. We'll take a break. I got no lead. We'll talk more sports when we get back.
Sactown Sports 1140 is your home of the Las Vegas Raiders for the 2022 NFL season.
Tune your dial to 1140 for all Raiders games.
Plus, you can listen online at sactownsports.com and on the Sactown Sports 1140 app.
onlinegoodfeet.com.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
The only local sports show in the morning.
on Sactown Sports 1140.
Stop me if you heard this one. Athlete asked for a trade, right? And the team says no, and then he goes back to practice.
Yeah. He's going back to work.
What? That doesn't happen. If you ask for a trade, you have to be traded. It's the rules. Apparently not.
Look at Kevin Durant. Well, Kevin Garnett asked for a trade one time too, and he was told no.
Yes. Was he?
Yeah, when he wanted that trade to the Kings in 02. Minnesota was like, absolutely not.
Kareem Hunt of the Cleveland Browns said, I want a trade. And the Browns said, no, we're not trading you. Okay. And then he went back to work.
At least he did that. He's not holding out or, demand. I guess he already did demand, but.
Is it a 2-year, last year, a 2-year, $12 million contract? He signed the deal. And I know that can sometimes be a problematic thing. Okay, well, he signed the deal. It happens all the time. That's just not the world we live in. I do kind of get why he would want one, though, just in the sense that he's 27 and he's playing behind one of the best running backs in the league in Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Now, that really, off the top of my head, unless there's something I'm missing, and I'm thinking that's got to be the best 1-2 running back punch in the backfield.
I would think so. It feels like it is going into the year.
I think that's 2 NFL starting caliber running backs. And 2 really, Kareem Hunt with the Chiefs was fantastic. But he's 27, and as we know, generally running backs really fall off a cliff at 29, 30. So he's playing for Cleveland. Now, here's the thing. I've got it. Jimmy Garoppolo for Kareem Hunt. Done.
Fair.
Yeah. 100%.
Who says no?
Elijah Mitchell and Kareem Hunt in the backfield.
There you go.
Here. But, good for him. He went back and he's practicing, or he practiced at least. But the thing with Kareem Hunt is this too. I don't really have a soft spot, because let's remember how Kareem Hunt got to the Browns and how he left the Chiefs.
Right.
This is a guy that did some really bad things, and he got a second chance, and that's fine. Okay. I don't know if I'm asking for a trade, but hey, that's me. The next audio we're going to play for you is something, if I'm sure you've either heard or heard of it, and if not, well, hey. Home run king Pete Rose is in the news. Pete Rose was in Philadelphia to be honored along with the rest of the 1980 World Series championship team. The celebration was postponed a couple years because of the pandemic.
Sure.
And this is, Pete doesn't get around a baseball field all that often anymore for various reasons.
He's usually outside those fields signing, not on the field.
Exactly. It just wasn't. It wasn't a great day for Pete. He was asked by a reporter for the Philadelphia Inquirer about a woman's allegation from years ago that they had sex when she was a minor, to which Pete responded, "It was 55 years ago, babe." The reporter tweeted later that after the ceremony, Rose asked her if he had offended her and offered to sign 1,000 baseballs.
That'll make it better.
For forgiveness, before ultimately saying he was sorry. He went on to tell the AP, quote, "Who cares what happened 50 years ago? You weren't even born, so you shouldn't be talking about it because you weren't born. If you don't know a damn thing about it, don't talk about it." Okay. He then went on the TV broadcast, and it just...
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Joe said, "Tony, congratulations. What did you hit?" And Tony says, "Joe, I hit a high fastball." And Joe didn't know what to say. Joe said, "No shit."
That's looped out to right field.
You changed the subject real quick on that loop out to right field.
I'm just describing the action.
Pretty sure we don't have a 7-second delay, so.
Oh.
I didn't realize this was television.
Pete's telling dugout stories.
Yes.
On the broadcast.
Pete used to be on TV not that long ago.
Well, he's 81 now, and the filter is apparently gone. When you bring Pete on, it's like when you bring Pete on a broadcast, it's like interviewing Nick Diaz. It's the responsibility of the broadcaster to understand who you're talking to.
Right.
And Pete, like Nick, both, they just don't really have a filter. It's not their money. They don't care. They're going to speak as they speak. And there's just, I don't, Do we really need to pedestal up and go into what's wrong with that?
No, but the process is interesting, like you said. I bet there's someone in the organization that said, "Hey, Pete's here. This would be great to put him on the television."
Yeah.
The guys on the TV are literally probably given very little warning that he's coming on.
Sure.
And all right, well, we do have Pete Rose. I mean, I'm sure this could be very interesting, and it became interesting in a different way.
And you've been through this before. A producer says to you, "Hey, we're gonna get Pete in the next segment." Oh, okay. And you didn't know that probably ahead of time.
Right.
And then Pete comes on and, "Hey, Pete, how are you doing?"
And you may literally be putting a headset on him during the inning. Like you don't even have a 10-second, 20-second ramp up.
No, you don't have a hello off the air. Or, "Hey, Pete, we're live on."
What do you want to talk about?
Right.
I mean, this is what we like to get into. We'll describe the game, why you're here. And then he just starts telling, like you said, dugout stories.
The woman is identified as Jane Doe in 2017, said Pete Rose called her in 73 when she was 14 or 15, and they later had encounters in Cincinnati that lasted for several years. She also alleged Rose met her in locations outside Ohio. Rose's lawyer said the woman's claims are unverified, but Pete Rose acknowledged in 2017 he did have a relationship. However, he said it started when she was 16, which is the age of consent in Ohio.
Wow.
At the time, Pete was in his mid-30s and was married with 2 kids. Yeah. So I'm just going to segue out of that one.
Okay.
We gave the story.
Yeah.
You hear a lot about it. We'll talk about it again later. Just not, whatever. Maybe it's time for Pete to, stay home. Maybe it's just time.
I think it's been time for that.
Yeah, just sign the baseballs and do the thing.
Sure.
And just, we love memorabilia on this show. We love to talk about auctions and interesting things. This is a good one. Bobby Bonilla's famous deferred agreement with the Mets goes for $180,000.
I don't understand. Well, I understand it, but really?
So we're talking about the contract he signed, and in that contract, he basically gets a couple $1,000,000 every July 1st. I think I think it's still a few more years.
Yeah, it was 25 years, and I think we're still.
Yeah, we're like what?
A little over halfway, I think.
Right. I mean, what a deal for him.
Yeah.
And that contract has sort of become a fascination in some aspects of the sections of the media.
Yeah.
Every July 1st, it's Bobby Bonilla Day. Darren Ravel's all over. I'm actually wouldn't be surprised if it was Ravel that bought that thing. I don't think I would do that. That we've talked before. Obviously, I don't have $108,000, but I don't know that that's something that would really turn me on as a collector.
Yeah, I mean,
but I can kind of see it because it's so unique.
Yeah, you can see the talking points, and I guess you get it framed or put it somewhere where you're like, hey, that Bobby, but I've got it right here. Here's the contract.
Yeah.
Here's the verbiage. Here's the key line. I don't know that it would be unique for sure, but I'm not paying my money for that.
I don't know how much does Bobby get? Is Bobby the one? I assume it's Bobby that sold it, and then it's also like, Bobby, what are you
looking for more?
What do you need $180,000 for, Bob? You just picked up $2 million last month.
Yeah,
I'd take that.
Well, and I gotta believe there's that. Like that doesn't feel like that's a unique. You can just make copies of it.
So it's like the NFT about you just take a screenshot.
Sure, right? I mean,
what do? Put that on display? You just display it?
Yeah, you have to. Otherwise,
put it on the fridge.
Yeah, right. Like,
why else are you purchasing that unless you're showing it off to somewhere, somehow, somebody?
And as we break, the PGA Tour has asked a federal judge to deny a temporary restraining order to 3 of its suspended members who left to compete on the LIV Golf Tour. They're trying to bar them from participating in the FedEx Cup playoffs, which begin here right quick, saying, quote, they can't have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah. This battle's gonna be constant because they got 2 legit things going on at the same time. It's good.
The 3 suspended members, Matt Jones, Hudson Swafford, and Taylor Gooch, all filed they all filed in the U.S. District Court of Northern California. And the PGA Tour is saying, no. The 3 players, along with 8 others, including Phil Mickelson and Bryson DeChambeau, filed an antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour last week. Davis Love III said some interesting things on a podcast over the weekend, and he's obviously very close with the tour itself. He said he was asked if there was room for a reconciliation.
Oh.
And he said, yeah.
Okay.
He thinks there is. He thinks there's a way for LIV players to be able to play in the majors, for the PGA to move some of their tournaments around, for LIV Golf to move some of their tournaments around, and that they could all coexist together, which I think the PGA needs to really start. They're going to get smacked down in court a few times.
Sure.
And LIV is going to get a TV. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right, best of the weekend. We'll start with this. Kent Bazemore resigns with the Kings. He's coming back voluntarily to Sacramento, but that's not as rare as some people think. We'll let you know next.
Live and past broadcasts of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and Cattles and Rami.
Interviews, podcasts, and more.
They all live on the Sactown Sports 1140 app. Download the app now in the App Store and Google Play. Max HD2, Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
It's Sactown Sports 1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Jay, I know you're busy. Please drop everything.
Uh-oh.
And,
Wow.
well, not music, but okay. Please edit.
Underwear or no underwear?
Please edit the audio I just sent you.
Okay. Bye.
Please edit it quickly. Aaron
Send
Rodgers.
it by email?
Oh, no.
I sent it to your email. This is a very, let's put it this way. This is the first time I think, first time I ever played anything on the show involving anyone from Barstool Sports. Big Cat and PMT sat down with Aaron Rodgers today. I think we might have one of the more awkward exchanges.
Oh, wow.
I've ever heard.
Okay.
I'm not trying to oversell it. Yeah, we'll get to that. Ken Bazemore.
Yes.
In the meantime, is back with the Sacramento Kings. I'm kind of half like looking at Jay editing to wait till he hears it. John Wilson, actually, a good friend and producer, was the producer, longtime producer for Kings TV, had mentioned, hey, guys, actually going back. I don't want to misquote him, but he was in fun saying, hey, he's going back to Sacramento. Good to see. You don't see that often or something to that effect. Of course, Kings fans are like, well, hey, what are you talking about?
Right.
Actually, there are a lot of players.
Yeah, decent amount. There's a decent list now.
That have repeated with the Kings. Quincy Acey, you've compiled a list here. Thank you. Omri Caspi.
Okay.
Love Omri. Matt Barnes, and not only came back twice as a player, but also is now on the broadcast. So I think that counts as 3.
Yeah.
Ty Corbin.
Also came back as a coach.
That counts as 3.
Yeah.
Tyreek Evans. You know what? I kind of forgot he came back. I kind of forgot that he had a second round of this. Bobby Jackson.
Bobby Lee.
And, by the way, came back as a coach. Yeah. That's 3. Anthony Johnson. Ben McLemore. I really forgot Ben came back. I remember that now. Everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
John Salmons.
Because that's the one that has had the most discrepancy of round 1 versus round 2, right? He was really pretty good in the first time. Second time, not so much.
Is John Salmons the most unfairly maligned king of all time? And I'm not pitching that he's awesome or a hero or a great, but what did he? Sometimes I think about it. Like you mentioned John Salmons to any longtime Kings fan.
Yeah.
I was like,
right. Yeah, you're right. I think it's pretty unfair for him.
Kind of unfair for him, right? He just played here.
Right.
He never say anything bad about the Kings. He never did anything. He just played, and sometimes not great,
as well as he should.
But also sometimes a lot better than people give him credit for.
Right.
I'm not saying people should roll out the Salmons jerseys, but I think it'd be kind of cool to turn him from a fan not favorite to a, something.
To a fan acceptable.
Yes. Jabari Smith, father of Jabari Smith Jr. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that is. Garrett Temple. The high flyer. Who came back onto the broadcast.
Yes, so that's
3 times.
Okay.
William Wennington. Bill Wennington, who came back on the broadcast briefly.
Okay. Yeah.
You brought that up today. That's 3. And Corliss Williamson, who came back as a coach.
That's
also.
3.
So that's 3. And by the way, in addition to come back twice as a player. So, Spencer Hawes did not come back.
Nope. Would he be allowed back?
No.
Okay.
No, he would not.
Yeah.
Also want to say a hearty congratulations to De'Aaron Fox and his new bride. Got married over the weekend. Saw there was Instagram stories and stuff from mutual friends that were there, people with the organization. Saw Monty and Vivek, or I didn't see I don't know if I saw. I know I saw Anjali. I assume Vivek was there, and Monty McNair and his wife, and a bunch of different folks. And good to see. Congratulations, many years of happiness,
yes,
love, and all that fun stuff. Okay, we have the audio. Let me set this up. It's a sit down between Aaron Rodgers and the Barstool guys, Big Cat and PFT commenter. And they bring up vaccinations and Aaron's reticence to. Here you go.
People say, "Oh, immunization, vaccination."
Yeah, I did. I said that a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
But
How many people do you think you killed? What's your count? How
See,
many
I-
grandmothers?
See, I
Let's
don't-
just do grandmothers.
I mean, I know you guys are. I don't find that part funny. I really don't.
Okay.
Like,
You got John Cena.
no, yeah. People say, "Oh,
That's awkward. That's one of those.
How
like,
many people did you kill?
How many people did you? How many grandmothers? I mean, on one side, interesting to hear Aaron respond to that. Because that's a very real question. People are like, what kind of example are you saying? You know, there's
Sure.
the argument on that side.
Right.
On the other side, I mean, you know, it's not. I think the interview continued. I know they ended up talking about him beating the Bears and does he take extra love in that?
Right.
And he responded, yeah, it's 100 years. You know, that's a huge football town, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't care if I was, if we were playing in a town that didn't really have a sports history, but Chicago's best sports histories ever. And then he said something else that really, I've gone from really liking Aaron Rodgers over the years to God, he makes it so hard to like him. He said, I grew up a Bulls fan. Exactly.
I don't remember ever hearing that.
Exactly. I thought he grew up a Kings fan.
Unless he's saying he grew up a Jordan fan. Like I think a lot of people could say that.
I think if Aaron were in studio right now, first off, he'd be like, dude, how about that interview? But I think he would say something like, well, I grew up a Kings fan, of course, but during the Bulls' heyday, you know, you root for Michael Jordan and Kings were never in the playoffs.
Sure.
And that was like my second team. I mean, he's enough of a, we can't ever call Aaron Rodgers a Sacramento, right? Of course. Is he a greater Sacramento? Is he because he's a Chicoian, right?
A Chicoian in Berkeley, right?
In Berkeley.
Butte College.
Yeah, like he
Chico guy is way different than Sacramento guy. So no, I don't really think we can claim him. Chico dude is different.
You think so?
Yeah.
That doesn't count as Sacramento ties.
I mean, loosely, very loosely.
Who is it? Josh Allen? Is it Josh Allen's from Fireball?
Yes.
Yes.
And he doesn't really attach to anything, right?
Right.
No.
You don't call Derek Carr like would Aaron Rodgers to Sacramento be what Derek Carr is to Los Angeles?
I guess.
Aren't they about the same distance apart? Maybe Chico's actually a little further.
Well, Fresno's what, 3 hours from LA?
Yeah.
Roughly.
Oh, okay, never
Chico's
mind.
about the same. Right? Well, Chico's a little
Chico's
closer.
a couple
A
hours.
little closer. Okay, I got it wrong. I got it the opposite. Yeah, I it's always been because Aaron's always spoken, and he's been to Kings games.
Yes.
You know, and he's always spoken.
So was Brett Favre.
I know. Well, yeah, but I know that he was engaged during the relocation enough to know what was going on and to follow the whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but at this point, isn't Aaron like a Bucks fan?
Yes. Well, wait, isn't he a Bucks owner? I want to say, I think he bought into the Bucks ownership group.
Aaron strikes me as the type of guy who would buy into a team's ownership group and then root for a different team. He seems like
Just
that.
because.
Dude. Yes.
Yeah, he's a minority owner of the Bucks. In 2018, he bought a 1% stake in the Bucks to become one of their minor, which is probably worth like $17 billion now. He is the only active NFL player with ownership stake in an NBA team. I believe, doesn't Patrick Mahomes own part of, was it the Royals?
Yeah, he has an ownership stake in the Royals.
Okay. Steve Perry is from Fireball. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, sure.
Of course, Paul would know that.
Oh my gosh. If Mount Fireball though, which I never would have thought of.
It's 2.
It's 2.
But a good 2.
It's a good 2. That Steve Perry and Josh Allen. Finally, and it
also sound like they could be in a band together.
Steve Perry and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, I don't know. There's more conversation, but I just want to put it on the radar because one of our go-to crutches for fun, and all year we almost kind of make fun of it because it's become a crutch for so many, are making Mount Rushmores. Well, Jalen Rose does not want that anymore.
Right.
You may have or have not heard this. Obviously, Mount Rushmore refers to the Mount Rushmore Memorial. There's 4 faces on it. But Jalen Rose does not want that. Quote, the monument was built on top of dead bodies of Native Americans whose land was taken from them. I'll quote again. Can we retire using Mount Rushmore? This is Jalen Rose. That should be offensive to all of us, especially Native Americans, indigenous people who were the first people here before Christopher Columbus. The land was stolen from them when it was discovered that it contained gold. And 25 years later, to add insult to injury, 4 American presidents were put on what we call Mount Rushmore, on the top of the dead bodies that are buried right beneath. So I call for you and for myself, let's stop using the term Mount Rushmore when we're talking about our favorite rappers, talking about our favorite movies, talking about our favorite players. And he went on to compare it to the former Washington Redskins, the Cleveland Browns, and change. So now, of course, there's going to be this giant, war on social media between factions. And I don't know. I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to wait to see which one ends up being the right one. And that's what I'm going to say, because I just want to do the right thing and not get in trouble.
I thought you were going to put a poll question out.
I'm not going to put a poll question out. No, I'll leave that to the people screaming back and forth. We will take a break here in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, we talked about Kent Bazemore.
Yes.
We talked about this. One more quick note on that. Someone's got to go.
Right.
Someone's going to have to go. And that's assuming, by the way, that the roster is what it is. We're assuming the roster at training camp is going to be this roster.
I think we're
pretty
far along. I did see some people on social media. Oh, they signed Kent Bazemore, and people are freaking out like this is the chance. Like, well, no one's freaking out.
Who is freaking out?
Who are you adding besides Durant today? Like, that's a major. Like, the free agents are gone pretty much.
Ben Simmons.
It's not a free agent.
Oh, free agents. Yeah.
But I mean, like,
yeah, that pool's a little dry.
Yeah, and
it is.
This is just roster depth.
Yeah, are there any big free agents still?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Like Carmelo is
okay. I was going to say name
again.
Free agents.
Let's take out Bazemore and say that's Carmelo Anthony. It's not really changing the impact of the Kings.
No, you're just getting that Vince Carter excitement at that point.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool, Carmelo played for us, but yeah, you're not expecting him to be a major part of the, rotation.
What about Carmelo Anthony as our new wing? Thoughts?
No.
He's out there. Mellow.
Eh.
That's actually right. Like if we said Carmelo Anthony, I think there would be a lot of people happy just because Carmelo Anthony, but in reality, right?
If he helps, great.
Honestly, I think Kent Bazemore might arguably be a better signing. He's not the scorer, rebounder, he's not the player, but he plays defense.
Yeah.
We need defense. We can roll out Donovan Mitchell.
Davion.
Did I say Donovan?
You did?
I even thought about it first. Davion Mitchell, Kevin Huerter at the 2, or Kent Bazemore, and then Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray. That's 4 defendy guys.
Defendy.
Kind of.
Love the defendies.
Defendies. All right. Best of the weekend in full. And a classic movie turns 36. How big is this movie? Biggest one in 4 counties. We'll be right back.
Sactown Sports 1140 is broadcasting live on YouTube.
To me, it's a must-watch.
Check out the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and the Cattles and Rami Show.
Plus, get exclusive content.
Search Sactown Sports 1140 on YouTube. 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Question 1.
Controversy in the YouTube chat.
Oh, God.
Is it true you were invited on Chris Guerrero's show this weekend and didn't even respond?
Wait,
Unbelievable.
I was? Well, how was I invited? How did he invite me?
He must have DM'd you, and you must have ignored him.
Oh, did he do the DM thing?
After your big speech on Friday?
My big speech on Friday. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Chris didn't listen to me, so why should I listen to Chris? Because didn't I make a big speech where I said, hey, listen, I keep my DMs open for people who are having a tough time in life and need somebody to talk to. That's why I do it. I don't keep them open for Chris to send me an invite onto his podcast.
He needed to talk to you.
Yeah, maybe he needed help. He wanted to do it there.
He can still tweet at me.
He did, just directly.
Yeah, that's not what they're open for. It's like you give somebody your phone number for like a very specific thing, like a guest appearance.
Yeah.
Hey, here's
and they show up at your house,
right? Or they're the ones that, and this you've had this happen. I've had the Jay. I'm sure you've had this happen. You give your number to somebody for a very specific business purpose or whatever, and then, hey man, wow, did you see that play? What a game! What?
Who are you?
Who? And then I got to ask, oh, it's Billy from the thing. Oh, okay.
No, hey, Billy.
And then it's just a string of texts where it's like, oh my God, I can't. What do you think of the trade? Who do you think they'll draft? It's like, bro, it's not a request line. It's literally my cell number. Suck it. Don't use it. Yeah, I have very strong feelings.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris.
Well, on that note,
Go
what was
through
the
proper channels, Chris?
Yeah, Chris, you got to hit me, and then I'll give you Dave's number, and you guys can set it up that way.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Anyways, what was the best thing of your weekend?
You know what? My cousins Tantra and Gabrielle came up.
Family up.
We along with their kids, and my kids, and we hadn't seen each other in years and years. And everyone came up, and we had a barbecue, little swim party, and then around 6, I surprised my mom. I invited my mom and dad over for dinner.
Oh, they didn't know?
They had no idea.
Oh, that's cool.
And then my dad forgot his phone, so he had to go back home. I was like, hey, Dad, real quick. How about this poll? I was like, Dad, because I put them all in the backyard to say surprise, basically. And I said, Dad, can you come? I just got some sod installed in my backyard. Can you take a look? He's like, oh, okay.
Damn it, David.
And then, of course, my mom, she's like, I want to see the sod. So then they both come out, and for a split second, I don't think they had any idea what was just all these random people saying surprise.
Yeah.
And then it was great. It was awesome to see the kids playing together. So we had a blast.
So was the surprise worth it? I had to be
100 trillion billion %. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Family stuff similar. J-Man's birthday. That was great. And then my niece had her going away. Everybody's getting older, Dave. She's going away to college. It's
So what
is happening?
So was that the best / worst thing then?
It was best. It was best. That's good.
Oh, that's good. Jay?
I had Chinese food with Isaiah.
Oh, what kind?
Good one.
Like what was on the menu though? What was it?
We got broccoli beef, we got chow mein, we got fried rice, and for the first time, I've never tried this, honey walnut chicken.
Oh, I know exactly where you went.
No, you don't.
No,
not
there.
No,
because
you have no idea.
That's
where
a
I
dish
went.
there. It
you
doesn't
have
involve
no idea where I
doesn't
went.
involve a black and white bear.
No.
Oh,
come on!
I'm just saying that's one.
Really?
That's one of their dishes. Honey walnut chicken.
That's what you think of me.
Honey, let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with that.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it, but what's
time to time
right
get a
with it?
3-piece entree.
They don't have chicken strips there.
They don't. Their salt and pepper chicken, by the way, is actually very good. But good for you. Did you enjoy the honey walnut chicken?
I did. I was actually really happy with the outcome.
So you went chow mein and fried rice.
Oh yeah, well it's family style, so we gotta eat.
Oh yeah,
interesting. Chow mein and fried rice. Isn't chow mein an American invention? Didn't I read that?
More
somewhere?
than likely,
it's not a Chinese. Isn't like half of our Chinese food?
Most quote unquote Mandarin cuisine is American.
Worst
inventions.
Chinese food I ever had was in China. Couldn't eat it. Just not the same as the Chinese food here. They need to learn from us how to make better Chinese food.
Exactly.
Number 3.
Number 2.
Or that too.
What are we doing,
guys? I don't know.
Question 2.
That's 2 after all. I know that the NFL preseason just started, but do you realize that the first Kings preseason game is less than 2 months away? Just 56 days.
Yeah.
But who's counting? How excited on a scale of 1 to 10 are you for the upcoming Kings season?
10.
10?
Really?
Oh,
You were at a 10?
No, 10.
Are you lying?
12.
Wow.
But no. Wow. First off, Kings.
Okay.
Secondly, content. Thirdly, it's like a present at Christmas that you don't know what's in it. Could be a turd, could not be a turd. Don't
Usually
know.
a turd.
Want it? Probably a turd. You shake it.
A well-wrapped turd, but a turd nonetheless.
But that problem with your 10 is like that could be a 2 in like 3 days after the season starts.
100%.
Huh.
Absolutely. After it wears off, it's kind of like King season to me is kind of like how I would feel sometimes going back to school when I was a kid. You went school shopping and got your clothes, which you're not allowed to wear until school. So there's chilling. You're like, oh man, I spent a lot of time at Miller's Outpost. I want to wear that TNC Surf Design shirt. I can't. Hey, you get your outfit ready to go. You're like, this year's going to be different. I'm going to do all my homework. I'm the third thing. School is going to be awesome. 3 days later, you're like,
is it summer yet?
Billy's still a ding dong, and that girl math is dumb, and I don't like it. I'm tired.
Yeah, that first week of school is awesome, and then it just sucks.
So it's kind of like the Kings, and
When's
it's right
recess?
around the same type of year. Like I'm really looking forward to it. This year's going to be different. I got all my new, well, I don't have any new outfits, but I have my new emotional outfit that I can't touch until the start of the year, and of course the year will start, and a week later.
Actually, what if you did that? You bought something new Kings every year for like back to season. Do you? He does. But not a jersey.
No,
Maybe?
generally not a jersey.
Okay.
But I will
consciously do that.
I do. Wow. I go to the team store. I get a couple. I got it. It's something new. And then because the thing is, if we start doing well, that becomes my lucky thing. My lucky pullover, my lucky T-shirt.
So that's why that hockey jersey is still around, huh?
Yeah, when was that lucky?
Once.
But it's gonna happen again.
It's gonna happen again, baby. You guys? We just gave my answer.
I don't know. It still seems a little bit far away, but I know it's gonna be here. I'm about a 7 or an 8. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm at an 8.
Yeah.
Well, everyone lost their mind at my 10.
Well, you went 10. That's the top of the top.
I'm. So you guys are 20% not excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that just because it's not here?
Exactly.
Part of it is that.
Do you think you'll be at a 10?
Opening night, I'm a 10.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's where all the hope, you get your hopes up and all that fun stuff.
Actually, I'm almost, believe it or not, I think I'm at a 10 every night the intros go on and the music and Moke. And like, I can get
You've
there.
talked about this before, and you're right.
Like, they're
like
14 and 39,
new
and they're playing the T-Wolves, and I'm like, and I'm,
let's go.
I just do.
Real quick poll, because we got to move to number 3. Appreciate MC. Who here did not own a Trapper Keeper in school? Did you ever
I had one.
You had a Trapper Keeper? I had a trap. You had a Trapper Keeper? Anyone ever have a Trapper Keeper with kittens? Bad decision.
No, didn't do
Bad
that.
decision. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, it's cute. All right.
Perfect example. I thought it was cute. I'm excited for school. I go there. You have kittens on your Trapper Keeper. Didn't work out. Number 3.
Question 3.
The movie Stand By Me was released 36 years ago today. Do the math. That was 1986. The main characters in the movie were 4 12-year-old boys. Now, if you could go back in time to your 12-year-old self for a day, what would you do?
Moisturize. No, what?
No kittens on the Trapper
No
Keeper.
kittens on the Trapper Keeper, Dave. I said I got it. I'd say tell mom and dad about this new company called Apple.
They're not going to believe you.
I would, but
they're going to believe 12-year-old Carmichael Dave.
I tell them, because I thought about that, I tell them 2 things. And I also say, oh, by the way, Kirk Gibson's going to walk off the A's in Game 1 of the World Series next year. And I would use that as my thing for my parent. Be like, listen, I know the future and I'm going to prove it. He's going to walk off. They'd be like, no, he's not. He's half dead. He can't even get to the plate. And then he'd walk him off and then be like, now about this Apple company. And then we'd be rich.
I know the future. That'd be like, okay, we got to send him away for a little while.
I know. I got to go to a place with a thing. What would you do?
I'm trying to think, because that was such a great time in your life.
It was awesome.
12 years old is pretty ideal. You don't have a bunch of responsibilities. You're living, you're kind of learning, you're understanding a little bit more.
Will Clark was in his prime.
Was that for you at 12?
For me, 100%. It's just beginning.
I thought you were going to say Bitcoin or something.
Well, I mean, it's along the same lines. It would have something to do with
You're just
money.
thinking about future and money, but not even. What if it's just something for you at 12 years old? that you would. That was a mischievous look.
Make sure the door is locked.
Oh boy.
To your bedroom.
Yeah, and find something better than steel magnolias.
You, Jay?
Okay.
Is that your?
Well, I mean, yes, but also just go outside and play with my friends. Again, one more time. That was fun. Enjoyed that.
Make sure your bedroom door is locked. Every single.
Oh boy.
We'll take a break. When we come back,
I didn't know we'd go there.
I went with money. You had to push.
I did go farther.
The Bay Bridge Series. The Giants sweep it, but does it really count? We'll do that next.
You want more Kings coverage?
Sactown Sports 1140's giving it to you.
You know, you'll be watching and thinking, man, like, I guess Keegan, he's maybe not as good today. And then you look up and he's got, 12 and 8, and it's, the second quarter, and he is just so calm, so efficient.
I think it's absolutely what Sacramento needs. I think there's this sense that something special is starting to fall into place.
Log on to SactownSports.com for exclusive content.
SactownSports.com.
.com. They've been here for a combined 50 years. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports 1140.
was thinking during the break. Jay, I know this is right up your alley, too. Is Top Gun Maverick putting itself in the conversation for greatest sequel in movie history?
Haven't seen it yet. Waiting for it to be a VOD.
Let me, by the way,
Waiting for it to be VOD.
Let me put an asterisk. Take Godfather 2 out of the equation because that was it. Godfather 2 is probably the greatest sequel of all time, but Top Gun Maverick is now, there's now think pieces out there saying that it has resurrected the movie, helped resurrect the movie theater business. And I think there was a lot of mixed feelings about this coming out. I saw it for a second time over the weekend.
Okay.
Nostalgia aside, groundbreakingness aside, timing aside, just pound for pound, it's a better movie than the original. And I loved the original. And it sounds sacrilegious to say. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I loved it.
It was great.
It was a wonderful movie.
And when I saw it, it had a lot of hype. I'm like, okay, it's
It was
probably gonna
totally
be
built up.
Bars too high. I'll probably like it, but it'll be less. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. But I don't know, like, how are we qualifying sequels? Like in the traditional way, it was Beverly Hills Cop, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Right.
But now you've got, like, what are the Batmans per se? Like, are they
It's
sequel? Or are they just
tough.
evolutions?
It's,
of,
like, what are the Avengers? Is that technically a
Same
sequel?
idea.
I would say, here's what I would say. A sequel in this particular question is the second movie in a series, whether it's a series of 3, whether it's a series of 2.
Okay.
So Beverly Hills Cop 2, definitely on the list.
Okay.
I guess technically Empire Strikes Back, some people would want to put that in there.
Some would say that's the best Star Wars movie.
Many. I think if
I
not
think it is.
most
It's my
of the
favorite.
original 3 would say Empire regularly wins that poll.
I can't think of an example right now, but I know there's movies where the second movie is a prequel.
Terminator 2 was a great sequel.
Yeah. No, you're right about that, by the way.
But that's still the second movie that we get to see,
Wasn't Die Hard 2 a huge hit? I forget
Yes,
which one
Die Hard
it
2
was,
is.
but
I want to say Die Hard 2 is bigger than the original one.
How many Die Hards were there?
4 or
17.
5. And isn't there another one?
Lethal Weapon 2.
On one? Lethal Weapon 2. I wouldn't put it on the list, but it was definitely a very big movie.
Aliens was huge. Back to the Future 2 was big when it came out.
What was the other?
Rocky 2.
Police Academy 2.
Yeah.
Rocky 2, though.
Rocky 2 is the best one. Seriously.
I would put Rocky 2, and I enjoyed Rocky 2. I would put Rocky 2 fourth.
What's in front of it? You can go Rocky 4. I'll hear
for
that.
Watchability.
It's Rocky 3.
I would go 4, 3.
You put 3 over 2?
Wasn't 3 Clubber?
Yes.
Yeah. Clubber Lang, baby. Mr. T.
For me, it's 2, 4, 3, 1, 5 in that original 5.
Well, 5 doesn't count.
Well, no, it's at the
5's
end.
not a movie.
It's a catastrophe
5
on
was
film.
5. We just all forget. Skip over to Rocky Balboa, if you will.
Yeah.
Rocky Balboa wasn't bad.
I didn't think it was either. And then you go to the Creeds.
Yeah.
Creed 2 is fine.
Like
Creed 3 comes out next year.
Sequel?
It did really. Wait, what
Was that is the
Yeah,
Rocky Balboa? It's got to be, right? It's still the same character.
Well, does Creed 2 count as a sequel, or is that like the
Yeah, for the
6th
Creed.
in a
It's
series?
the
Yeah,
Creed.
right.
It's in the Rocky canon, but it is its own sequel.
And then there's we'll wrap this up here, but there are people, myself included, that think probably maybe the second Indiana Jones, the one with the
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom was the
I
best
love
Indiana
Temple of
Jones.
Doom.
I think it was probably Raiders of the Lost Arks Online 3.
Yeah.
But then Last Crusade, the third Indiana Jones, it was
sucked.
It's a watchable movie.
That doesn't mean it's good.
But it's so stupid. The scene where Sean Connery and the pigeons, and they take the plane down with the umbrella. Get out of here. Not as bad as Indy avoiding a nuclear bomb in a refrigerator in Last Crusade.
Yeah.
All right. I'm stalling. No Problem Child 2 is not on the list. Text line.
Why not?
The Giants swept the A's in a 2-game set over the weekend. And
the people showed up.
Yeah. What would we call it? Oracle Park at Ricky Henderson Field or whatever it was over the weekend. 40,065 were at the game Saturday. Another 31,000 on Sunday. The only other game over 20,000 this season was 24,000 on July 4th. As a matter of fact, and this is a great note here, guys, Saturday in the major leagues was the largest single-day crowd total around the majors since opening day of 2019. Average attendance Saturday was 35,104.
Majors.
And the fact that, and I'm not trying to be funny here, but the fact that the A's were playing 2 home games in that too, normally you would think would not help the list that much. But you also had places that don't necessarily have historically, or at least lately, great crowds that were at home. Teams like Cleveland, Kansas City, they've had struggles as well.
But you had huge crowd. I mean, that's big for Oakland, obviously huge. Dodgers Padres was packed.
Yes, and we'll talk more about that here.
And then even Cardinals, Cardinals have a great crowd, but they hosted the Yankees. So I mean, you had some big draws, but still the average to be that's, I don't know what that says. It all feels like baseball's down, and I think it is by and large part. I think we could all agree on that. But is it becoming, or maybe it's been this way, just more fun to go to the game than to watch it on TV?
You mean like as an event more so? It's like a social gathering than anything else?
Yeah.
I could see that, especially in certain cities where you have beautiful ballparks that have a lot of amenities.
Like you haven't watched as much this year, but you went to the game with you had a good time.
Yes.
It's more fun. I mean, isn't it more fun to be at the game? Would you say? Or
I would say if I lived in the world of the Jetsons where I could just go in the little tube and be there and then get in the other tube and be home, I would say, I'd probably go to a lot more games. And it is a fun experience.
Okay, but that's a trek to the Bay. Like, what if it was at Golden One? Like,
if it was at
Golden
equivalent
to downtown where it's a 15-minute drive.
Yeah. But again, it's always tough for me with these questions because I understand that I'm a complete outlier. Like, I think I went to 6 Kings games last year. I get more out of watching at home, but it's also from a work environment. Not that you don't, you're there every game and all that, but just replay, announcing the stats, all that when I have to talk about it the next day.
Yeah, or you can pause it. There's just different things.
And there's no lines.
Yep.
And there's no parking. And I don't have to worry about,
it's your food.
It's my food. It's
your bathroom.
I can go to bed right after I understand. And I do think baseball, I would say it's a fight between baseball and basketball as to which sport is most fun to watch live.
But hockey.
I feel like football is amazing live.
I think football sucks live.
Really?
I think it sucks.
Oh, I love live football.
I think football sucks live. And because here's why. Listen, cool to be in the crowd. Tailgate, all the periphery, I'm with you. It's arguing college football, even college football is an experience. But from a pure spectator point of view, first off, it's got to be the highest percentage of hammered people there are. So you're most likely to get urinated on at a football game. Let's just be
Sorry
honest.
about that.
That's just the way it is.
I did not know that was a thing.
Number one. Number two, you're stuck. Hey, I got seats on the 20-yard line. That's awesome for 40%, maybe 30% of the game. The rest of the game, you're like, oh, what happened? Oh, let me look at this. You're looking at the scoreboard half the time to look at the replays because they're on the other side of the field on the far hash mark. Baseball, you have a static view of the whole field. You can see what's basketball. It's right there. It's a tiny little court. They're back and forth. Hockey, I hear, is the best sport to watch live.
Oh, hockey is amazing live.
And I acknowledge that. I just have never been a hockey guy, so it's tough for me. Personally, I think fights, if you have a good vantage point, are fun to watch live. But back to baseball, it's a huge audience for baseball. It's a huge moment for them. Good for them. Yeehaw. Giants fans getting excited about this. Well, get excited after this Padres series. If the Giants are able to take what is a 3-game series with the Pods, if they're able to take 2 or 3 with them, get excited. Because, and I say this with all the respect in the world towards A's fans. Yeah, it's a 3-game set in San Diego before they host Pittsburgh. If you want, do not get excited over beating the A's. There's no excitement in beating the A's. There's nothing to take from beating the A's. Any rivalry that's there, then you're excited about playing a sixth grader in basketball and winning. You're like, oh, I won. Yeah. Okay. Well,
sometimes you need a confidence boost.
I
Okay?
mean, and maybe that is a confidence boost for them. I don't know, but you're playing a team that's been completely decimated. The A's are not a major league team this year, and it's not their fault. It sucks for the fans. I take no joy out of it.
Yeah, well, it's better than the alternative, getting swept by
that.
them.
Is very true. Screw
but
the A's.
it just but some of the things the Giants have been doing wrong showed up even in this weekend. Like defense let them down at times. I mean, they won. That's the most important thing. It's just I'm still amazed the difference from last year to this year with the Giants, how drastic it's been.
Palpable.
Yeah.
And by the way, the scariest thing that happened in the major leagues over the weekend that we won't cover as much, but certainly warrants mentioning as we take a break here. Jacob deGrom was almost unhittable in his return.
Yeah.
He's the best pitcher in baseball, I think.
Well, think about that with Scherzer, him, Bassett, all the stuff they can throw out.
They get Jacob deGrom the rest of the year. Look out.
Good luck.
Absolutely look out. We'll take a break. Hey, the Padres haven't won since I adopted them. The best team money can buy slapped them down over the weekend. We'll wrap up baseball next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports 1140. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people that play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf.
It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa.
Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility, and Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality, and Safe Credit Union. Let us put you first. 866-545-7577. Stimulating conversation about kitchen gadgets and baseball cards.
I think that's really crazy interesting.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
The most buzzworthy team in baseball going into the weekend was without a doubt the San Diego Padres. My Pods.
Your Pods.
Pod Squad, baby.
How do you feel about them today?
Over it.
Done with them?
It was a
short-lived relationship.
Short-lived relationship. I'm done. They're trash. Trash.
So you use them for their bodies. Wow.
I pretty much did. The Padres had a 3-game set in L.A.
Did they show up?
No.
Well, they showed up. Sort of.
20-4. 20-4. They were outscored over the 3 games. Woof.
When old Cody Bellinger's getting his bat around to hit a couple out on you, it's just not going well. Max Muncy all of a sudden found his bat again. It's not going well for you.
I don't. That's rough, dude. Hey, we've got all these batters, and Tatis is on his way back, and yay, and
and we're playing the guys that we don't like, that we're chasing, and this is the weekend we put them on notice.
Yeah,
and
it didn't
materialize for them, did it?
No, and the thing is just, and this is really where it becomes interesting in the sport. And this is where it's tough to. It's really tough to break down baseball with the season being so long, because the question is just, well, what does that mean?
Right.
Because they're not winning. Padres aren't, never say never, but you can pretty much say never here. They're not winning the West.
No, they're not going to win the division. That's what, 16 game lead, whatever, 15 and a half.
Here's my question. Jay, I'll ask you this because you're the bandwagon Dodger fan. Wow. So the Dodgers have played 108 games. So that means they have 54 to go, which is approximately, well, the Padres have played 111. All right. So they have 51 to go. If the Padres went undefeated the rest of the year, would they catch the Dodgers? The Dodgers are 15 and a half ahead of them.
If they went undefeated,
like they probably would catch it. But the lead for the Padres, if they went undefeated the rest of the year, at the end of the year, the lead would be in single digits. We can agree on that, right? I would think it would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games.
If things continue to roll for the Dodgers as they are, yes, it would. I mean, the Dodgers have won 30 of 35.
The Dodgers have won
really good
70% of their games. That's stupid. 70% of their games. So what do we say? They have a 52, 54 games left. That means they're going to win at that pace. What, another 36? That puts them on pace for about 111 wins.
Wow.
That'd be a record, by the way.
That'd break their last year's record, which was 106.
111 wins. They've won 8 in a row. They've won 9 of 10.
30 out of 35.
30 out of 35. They're 30
hottest team since the All-Star break.
30 and 5. I mean, I remember we still talk. I think I got the record right. Didn't the Tigers start out like 31 and 4? And what was that? 1980. It was the year they played the Padres, speaking of 84. In the World Series. I think it was 84. I want to say they started out 31 and 4, something stupid like that.
Which is good.
Yeah, and the Dodgers are 30 and 5.
Yeah.
I hate them.
With some key pieces out.
Who's coming back?
Kershaw eventually.
Yeah.
So he just got hurt again. Bueller's still out.
Bueller.
I mean, you're talking about at the start of the year, that was what you were looking at as your 1-2. In your starting rotation. They're both hurt right now.
And they're both hurt. They still went 30 and 5.
Well, Kershaw just got hurt, but Bueller's been hurt for a while now.
What if you face the Mets?
That, and I know you talked about it earlier, Dave. That is to me the one, because of that pitching rotation, if healthy. Dude, that is Scherzer.
Sorry.
Bassett. DeGrom. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing another starter. Carrasco.
Edwin Diaz closing games.
I love the way he comes in. That's awesome.
No, the Mets are really freaking good.
I'm sorry. I was playing the music for the Dodgers. Hat tip to them. Struggles.
Struggle is real.
What's it like having your top 2 starters out like that? It's just,
It just really shows how the team comes together.
You know what? I feel weird about this because Vince Scully just died. It has been a tough year for the
Dodgers.
No, I'm just saying.
I mean,
Dodgers have been in our thoughts for weeks. Someone's gonna send me, really funny, Dave. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just I have a hard time feeling bad for the Dodgers. Screw the Dodgers, Jay. Okay, just screw them.
A lot of homegrown talent on that team.
Screw them and their money. Yeah, but
Buehler,
You know what?
Bellinger,
You know who else had a lot of homegrown talent? The A's.
Okay, so it's the Dodgers' fault that the A's sold off all their players. There you go. You've cracked the code.
Yes, it is. It's not the A's. Hey, it's like politics. It's not the candidate that's the problem. It's he's the symptom. It's the people voting for that person. It's not the Dodgers' fault. I don't blame the Dodgers. They're just playing in a system rigged for them.
Again,
for them.
And I have come out in defense of the system being unrigged. I think it's ridiculous.
You unrigged the system. The Dodgers haven't won 30 or 35. I can tell you that much.
You're probably right.
They might have won 25, 35.
Yeah, they'd still be pretty good, though, I think.
And I'm speaking as a Giants fan. It's not like we're out there like, please, sir, can have another. Like we have money.
I did see that over the weekend. I think that's I want to say as far as revenue, they're one of the higher revenue teams, yet payroll wise, they're not there.
No.
That's another factor.
No. And I just, and is it silly and sad? And do I have a real logical reason to hate the Dodgers? I don't.
You do.
Yeah.
You're a Giants fan.
Other than being a Giants fan.
That's my reasoning for hating the Giants.
From the 5-3-0, the Padres had to play 5 games in 4 nights against Colorado before the Dodgers series.
Shut
they had
up
absolutely
with
no
that.
day off in between whatsoever.
On.
You know what? Got to be honest, dude. I'm back on board. Pod Squad.
We're going to blame the schedule. Hey. Okay.
Maybe they rested during the Dodger series.
That's it.
Maybe.
They went all out against the Rockies, right? Because that went well.
Maybe they're playing possum.
Oh, possumly.
Or podsum.
But maybe they're playing possum. Or what?
Podsum.
Podsum.
Yeah.
Okay. Good news in the NFL, guys. We did the whole thing with basketball earlier. Scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you guys for football season?
Right now, it's
9.
preseason. Yeah, I need the real thing to start.
So Jay's a 9.
I'm a 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. This might pump it up to a 10.
Oh, okay. 3 spots?
This just in about a couple hours ago. This is an article by Kevin Seifert. The NFL has asked its on-field officials to pay particular attention to illegal contact fouls during the 2022 season. Yes, finally. It's what we've all been craving. More penalties. Yeah. Feel it.
I'm a 6.
Feel it, baby. You went down.
I did. Based on that. That's fine.
Illegal contact refers to prohibited contact by a defender when the quarterback still has the ball and remains in the pocket. It's a 5-yard penalty and results in automatic first down. Officials flagged illegal contact an average of 97 times per season between 2002 and 2020, but that number dropped from 97 to 36 last year. That is actually kind of a weird drop.
That's big time.
Especially with one more game.
You're right.
That's a real big drop. The decrease prompted the NFL's competition committee to include illegal contact among its points of clarification, formerly known as points of emphasis. Was there a meeting?
Yes. Focus group got together, so we got to clean this up.
We can't call it. We've been calling it points of clarification for years. Bill and accounting wants points of emphasis. I'll say aye. Hey, all right, the ayes have it. Officials must first identify the prohibited contact and then confirm the position of the ball and quarterback. The committee encouraged officials to move more quickly from the contact to the quarterback in order to better enforce the foul. Okay. So more flags, more offense, less defense. Jason, does it say something from the 916? Was that sarcasm, Dave? No, I love penalties. Don't we all? Everybody does. If you don't love penalties, if you don't love,
because football moves so fast, you need to slow down sometimes.
I go to the games for the umpires.
I do too.
And the refs.
Yeah.
I want to see them in action.
A lot of people watch the ball. I watch those guys.
Not me.
Yeah.
I want to see big strikeout things in baseball calls. What are they called? A strikeout?
Big strikeout things. Punch outs.
Punch outs. Yeah.
Also, great Nintendo game.
Yeah, I want to see him throw the confetti and punch the thingy.
Yeah.
Refs, I want to see those yellow. I want to see slow-mo replays of yellow flags spinning through the air. No. It slows the game down. You might be having, you're at 3rd and 2. Now you're at 3rd and 7 because of some rinky-dink stink dumb contact play. And what does this say in our society? I think this is what's wrong. People say it's social media or it's politics, and the Republicans and the Democrats. I say it's too many penalties.
That's it. That's what's bringing down all of society.
And defense is a bad word. Oh, no. We need more home runs in baseball. We need more scoring in the NBA. We need more touchdowns in the NFL.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, soccer's like 1-0 in overtime. They're doing fine.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. It's just a stupid thing. When we come back, all right, let's round up the Kings here. Kent Bazemore is back. Woo! Let's go, baby. Who's leaving the Kings? Let's take a look at that after this.
Breaking news, the latest happenings with your favorite teams.
You ever wonder about what the heck all these kids are doing on computers all the time?
Stay up to date with all of it by following us on Instagram and Twitter.
Excuse me, gentlemen, a little update for you.
At Sactown 1140. This is KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. It's Sactown Sports 1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone. When he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song. And when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports 1140.
People say, "Oh, immunization, vaccination."
I did. I said that a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
But
How many people do you think you killed? What's your count?
How many grandmothers?
See,
Let's just do grandmothers.
I mean, I know you guys are. I don't find that part funny. I really don't. Like, no, yeah.
That's Aaron Rodgers today. The PMT commenter and Big Cat of Barstool Sports. His first Barstool clip I think I've ever played. That was we're talking about his vaccination status. Aaron did not like that line of questioning at all. And it's like, I get it and I don't get it. Like, I get it. Like, you don't want to joke about anybody dying of coronavirus, but at the same time, Aaron.
Right. What's your answer?
What's your answer? I did put today's question out there. It's not a poll question. It's simply based on earlier conversation. We'll get to Kent Bazemore here in a second. What are your 4 best sequels? Sequels involving the second movie in a series by definition. I'm sure there's wiggle room there, but most have Godfather 2 and Empire Strikes Back. Most have that. I would say the vast majority have that. Now here's where we get to some different. A lot of Bad Boys 2. A lot of Bad Boys.
I did not see Bad Boys 2.
I have not either, so I can't comment on it.
Okay.
Bad Boys 2 is better than the original.
Okay. Was the original good? It was all right. I think
I like the original.
A lot of Dark Knights.
Okay.
A lot of probably third most popular Terminator 2. I thought this is random. You never what you're going to find on social media. Gordon Hintz weighed in. Gordon Hintz with a Z is representing the 54th Assembly District of Wisconsin in Congress.
Oh. Okay.
Just popped up on the timeline. He says Empire Strikes Back, Dark Knight, Godfather 2, Beverly Hills Cop 2. It's actually not a bad list. Empire Strikes Back, Dark Knight, Godfather 2, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Okay.
I wouldn't agree with it completely, but
pretty good entries there.
And dear friend of the show and of the city of Sacramento, Jack Cooley.
Oh.
He's got a lot of time on his hands now with the new baby. Godfather 2, Terminator 2, Bad Boys 2, and Clear and Present Danger. I had not considered.
I didn't think. See, that's another one of those. Okay.
The Jack Ryan series. Clear and Present Danger was fantastic. Was it better than Patriot Games? But, it was the second in the list.
Okay.
Don't come in here and bark at me like I'm some junkyard dog. I'm the president of the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Kent Bazemore.
Oh, wow.
Kent Bazemore is the newest, oldest Sacramento King. He signed with the team over the weekend. Did anybody get I didn't get specifics on this. Anybody see any
1 year deal?
Was it a 1 year? Is it guaranteed? That's what I knew it was 1 year.
I think I saw guaranteed.
Was
but
it
I'm not certain.
Okay. All right. So like on KHDK's Facebook page, I read some of the comments, and you always have Ding Dong McGillicuddy. They're like, "Oh, that's putting us over the top. Trash Kings, that's all they can sign." I'm not here to tell you that you should be super excited. But Kent Bazemore is one of those pieces that a team like the Kings, it will serve them well. He's not putting them over the top.
No.
Kent Bazemore is not the difference between, making or missing the plans. So, by the way, I had a conversation with a dear friend of ours. I'll leave his name out of it. I'll tell you off air, but he believes the plans count as playoffs. And I was, I'm a longtime believer that they don't.
Right.
And I said, no, you got to be an 8 seed or more. You got to be an 8 seed or better to make. Or I said, and I think you and I agree on this, or if you make the plan and you beat the 7 or 8 seed, you get in the playoffs.
Oh, then you're in.
Then you're in.
Right.
They said, but he goes, hold on a second. He goes, but But what if you're the 7 or 8 seed and you lose in the play-in?
That would be awful, but that's a possibility.
And he goes, that's a little bit. And he actually kind of had me a little bit. He did make me think, because he goes, well, hold on. If you count winning the play-in and making the playoffs, he goes, okay, I'll agree with you there. Fine. But if you're the 7 or 8, you're playing in the play-in tournament, just the same. You didn't make the playoffs. If you're the 7 or 8 and you lose that play-in series, you never made the playoffs by your definition, by my definition.
Right.
So that made me think now. So,
well, the league, I'm going to just go off what the league is stating.
They don't count it.
No.
They don't count them as playoff stats.
Charlotte, the last 2 years, has been in the play-in.
But has not been in the playoffs.
Right.
No
they
playoffs.
have the second longest drought to the Kings. It's like 6 years. But I'm like, they're playing the league.
6 years.
No, the league isn't counting it as playoffs.
6 years is a baby.
Yeah.
So do we need to officially amend before the season starts that if the Kings are the 7 or 8 seed and lose in the play-in,
they didn't make the playoffs.
They didn't make the playoffs.
No, they had a good year, but they didn't make the playoffs.
I'm going to make this our poll question of the day. I agree.
What's the difference?
I agree with you. I feel like the majority of Kings fans are going to disagree, but I don't think there's a leg to stand on there. If you count winning the play-in tournament and making the playoffs as a playoff appearance, you have to count losing in the play-in tournament as a 7 or 8 seed, not making it. That doesn't end the streak.
I think people generally look as the play-in as 10 and 9. It's 7 through 10.
That's correct.
That's the difference.
100% correct.
Because we've been trained like, oh, they're a 7 seed, so good. You're not in.
You're not in.
Now you have all the advantages. Your first game against Team 8 is at home.
Mm-hmm.
Your safety net, if you lose, is at home against the 9-10 team. Doesn't always work.
Doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So if the Kings make, what would you call it?
Like the Clippers last year.
Right.
Were in the top 8 and ultimately lost to the Pelicans. Pelicans, remember, were a play-in team. They made the playoffs.
So the Clippers did not make the playoffs.
Correct.
But I'm going to do this live because I want results. But lose the play-in. Does that end the streak?
As a, 7 or 8 seed, you're saying?
Yeah, I said, here's how I worded it. You tell me if I'm right. If the Kings end the season as the 7 or 8 seed, but lose the play-in, does that end the streak? Right? Is that the right wording?
Sure.
I think most people are going to say yes. And
I don't think so.
I hope you're right. You know what? I should trust Kings. I just trust them to be smart. We all want the streak to end.
Of course.
But you got it. We come this far. You got to end it the right way.
Right.
You got to end it the right way.
Let's end up in the top 6. There's no mystery.
ESPN, by the way, gave the Sacramento Kings I know fans love to hear this. They gave them a B for their offseason moves, and this was before Kent Bazemore. After he won MVP honors at Summer League in Vegas, the Kings have to be feeling good about taking Iowa forward Keegan Murray with the 4 pick. I agreed Murray was the best prospect available at that spot, though it's far too early to take a victory lap on the decision to draft him ahead of promising Jaden Ivey. Okay, that's interesting. They thought he was best player available. The rest of Sacramento's offseason focused primarily on the backcourt, where the Kings signed Malik Monk as a free agent and dealt for Kevin Huerter from the Atlanta Hawks. Huerter and Monk supply needed shooting next to point guards De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell and are just beginning their prime years. But the Kings let Dante DiVincenzo walk in free agency when he might prove a better value than either newcomer. You agree with that last part? By the way, he hedged by saying might.
Right.
Kent Bazemore might score 20 this year.
Well, sure. And I think that's the other part about Bazemore. I just wanted to say, too, that unique career in this sense, Dave. He's 2 trips with the Warriors, 2 trips with the Lakers, now 2 trips with the Kings. He also had Atlanta in there in Portland. But we got to remember last year the Lakers weren't very good, and he didn't play very much on that team.
That's true.
So, I mean, I'm going to say it again. If this is going to work and the Kings are going to be a top 6 or a top 8 or a top 10 and break that curse and break that streak and get into the postseason, it's on Fox and Sabonis.
Yes.
I mean, the other pieces are all important.
Yes.
But if you're relying on Kent Bazemore to get you there, no offense to Kent Bazemore, that's not it.
That's not it.
He'll be a complimentary piece. So would KZ Okpala. Like whoever we're looking at as 6, 7, 8, well, actually past the rotation, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever. all have their importance, but this is going on the heavy hitters.
Are you okay? Or do you we talked about 3 being the least deep spot on the team. I'm not asking you are they all-star caliber, but are you comfortable with the Sabonis, Holmes, Len center spot?
Yeah.
I can tell you this. I think 2 years ago, if we'd have said that Rashawn Holmes would be a 6-man type, would have been like, wow, what a boon for the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Rashawn Holmes was fantastic 2 years ago. And then last year, you can make this argument. Terrence Davis and Rashawn Holmes to me are, without obviously the Sabonis Fox thing, that's the alpha and the omega. Terrence Davis and Rashawn Holmes to me are, at the end of the year, if the Kings were to surprise everybody and make the playoffs, I think we're pointing at least one of those 2 guys. And I'm trying to, in my mind, because Rashawn Holmes was horrible last year. It was just, but he was hurt like every game. He got poked in the eye like 17 times. He was going through a terrible off-court situation. That was not a great year for Rashawn Holmes outside of just hoops, injuries, and off-court.
Yeah, life stuff.
I feel like I can talk myself into, I don't think he forgot to play basketball. He's 28 years old. He's still, middle of his prime.
Yeah. And I think at this point of those 2 guys between Davis and Holmes is playing. We know for sure.
Yes.
I think Davis is, but there's a lot of guards that are going to be sharing some time here. So Holmes is going to get reps. Will Davis earn those? That's the question.
And you're talking about a guy, Rashawn Holmes, who averaged 14 points and a little over 8 boards the year before. And by the way, it's something people often forget. Over 1.5 blocks a game.
Yeah.
He had one of the best blocks per minute for like people over 20 minutes in the entire NBA. And he wasn't playing 36 minutes a game. He was playing 29 minutes a game. So if you can extrapolate that down and say they can find a way for Rashawn to somehow, whether it's slide Sabonis to I'm also very curious if they could. Is there a way where Holmes could slide Sabonis to the 4, who slides Keegan Murray to the 3, and then you go with Fox Monk, Fox Hurt, or whatever? I don't know if that lineup would work or not because of the space they cover.
Yeah, I know last year in the limited time of Sabonis and Holmes, it didn't look very good, but I like the idea of them with camp, practice. If they want to make that a lineup that, is getting you a few minutes a night, I think it's something that should be explored. Unless it just doesn't work at all, then you just abandon it completely.
Yeah. Let's get to that. One more segment. We'll wrap up on the Kings, but also what are the top questions from Mike Brown going into this year? And we'll get to a lot more of this as the season gets closer. But really, time to start thinking about that right now. If we take the assumption the Kings are done moving, what are your top questions for the coach going into this year and his challenges? We'll get to that in just 60 seconds.
You want more Kings coverage?
Sactown Sports 1140 is giving it to you.
I like the Monk deal a lot. The Kevin Huerter one, you got control of a guy who, around the league, people still think he's a pretty good player.
Impressions, let's start with the Kings' top pick, Keegan Murray. What do you think of him? And you obviously knew him well at Iowa.
Yeah, I thought he was terrific. I called efficient and versatile. He's going to make shots. He's an elite jump shooter.
Log on to SactownSports.com for exclusive content.
SactownSports.com.
With Jason Ross. Text or call the show at 916-339-1140 on Sactown Sports 1140.
Some quick poll results from today's poll question. Already 150 votes in. 7 minutes. If the Kings end the season as a 7 or 8 seed, but lose the play-in, as opposed to if the Kings are in the play-in Does that end the playoff streak? Well, Jason, you had more faith than I did, and your faith so far is being absolutely rewarded. 80% of Kings fans say that does not.
Oh, good. Okay.
It does not end the streak. Now, I know it's a fine line. But as our old friend Kyle said on Twitter, Kyle Madsen, he said, this question again? I don't remember really going over this question. The question we've gone over ad nauseum is, well, hold on. If you're the 9 or 10 and you make the play-ins, does that end the streak? We've run that into the ground, of course. And I think we've all come to a conclusion, the vast majority that say no. But the twist on that, if you make the 7 or 8 seed, which would be the playoffs in any year, but you lose in the play-in,
right?
Does that matter? If the Kings make the play-in, and whether they're the 7, 8, 9, or 10, and obviously 7, 8 means you have a better record. But let's say the Kings are. If I told you right now, Jason, the Kings are going to be the 10 seed this year, they're going to get swept in the play-ins. Successful season?
Wait, they're going to be the 10 seed
and get swept in the play-in series. Like they're not. They're.
Oh, they lose.
You mean lose a game?
Yeah, they're swept. They don't win a game.
Successful? No.
Okay. Failure or meh?
Again, you need context, but probably closer to failure. If I'm picking of the two, failure, yeah. They did a lot of movement. You changed coaches. You added an all-star last year, so you give that full year or former all-star. De'Aaron, you've kind of said is one of your anchor pieces. You drafted well, you think. Been a pretty effective offseason, and if you end up 10th and you have one game on the road and you lose it, yeah, I think it's a failure.
Yeah, I'm with Jason. I just, first of all, I don't see making the play-in just on its own a success. That just means you got one step closer. But if you don't make the actual playoffs, yeah, it's a total failure.
Okay.
And that's why I think if we back up to that first question, let's go the other realm where they're the 7 seed. So I'm assuming at 7, you're above 500. That's an assumption. So for the bulk of the year, you've been a pretty good team. Not the greatest, but a pretty good team. That would be really disappointing. Now, there would feel like there was progress, but that means you lost 2 home games, 2 elimination home games to just get in the postseason, and that would feel like a major letdown.
Especially when that means you lost a home game, and the environment for that first home game is going to be bananas.
Yeah, and then the second one's probably more desperate because you're playing Team 9, Team 10 winner, and you're like, okay, well, we got one more safety net here. We're probably going to win, but you lose another one? That would be awful.
It sets up a very interesting conundrum, and that is that it is very much in play that the Sacramento Kings could exceed expectations and have a failure season. Because if you look at Vegas, if you look at the experts, if you look at the numbers, the guys who get paid on this, the Kings are not expected to make the play-in this year.
Mm-hmm.
Their over-under win totals hovering somewhere around 34, 35.
Right.
So you're saying, and I'm not saying I disagree with you, but you're saying the Kings could conceivably win 40 games, be the 9 seed, lose. They would have not only exceeded this year's expectations, but they would have added a full 10 wins to last year. But that it would be a failure. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I guess here's where now just that statement feels, yes, failure. But what's the context? Now, what happened? Was Sabonis out half the year? Did Fox have an injury?
Yeah.
And you get to that sounds different, doesn't it? At 40 wins, if you go, man, they were X record with everybody, but then the record was this. They still scratched and clawed their way to this. Or is it, no, they were there the whole year and they won 40 games. Well, that feels disappointing to me.
I kind of like what you said. I think it would be progress, yet still considered it would be progress.
Mm-hmm.
Team made
Factually,
progress.
Yes.
You can make progress and still suck. You can have a 30% in math class, raise it to a 55. You're still failing.
Sure. And I think then you go into next year with even more excitement, and that's not counting any potential moves they might.
Yeah, you go from that 55 to maybe a D+.
I also wonder for Mike Brown, I think maybe his number one question, I don't even know if this is technically a question, but isn't this the year of De'Aaron Fox?
Needs to be.
It has to be. If they don't, year 6 for him?
Yes.
God, year 6 for De'Aaron Fox. That's ridiculous. We're getting old. You go into year 6. It has to be one or the other, right? He's got to either be an all-star or they've got to make the postseason. Kind of.
I mean,
out of context.
Or what? You trade him?
If you could, but I don't even know.
Oh, well, you can trade him. Like, he's tradable. It's just you're not going to get dollar for dollar for him. The other side to look at that, and I find this fascinating, he's going into year 6. They finally pulled the trigger on DeMarcus Cousins in his halfway through his 7th year. All I'm saying is if they don't make the playoffs this year, I don't see a world where he's here much longer.
When you say pull the trigger, you mean trade it.
Yes.
Not on the contract. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think this is an incredibly important year for De'Aaron, and also from his point of view, too. If the Kings don't make that, we're thinking all from a fan point of view and from a Kings point of view. If you're De'Aaron Fox and the Kings don't make and the Kings suck again this year, aren't you kind of thinking, okay, I'm going into year 7. I'm more than probably, I might be more than halfway through my career. I'm certainly approaching it. I've done my time.
Yeah.
I got to go. I got to go somewhere. I got to be relevant. I want to be relevant.
Yeah.
There's got to be a shelf life.
Well, and that's just the domino, right? Because look at it. All right, they missed the playoffs, so he's going to go into year 7, as you just illustrated. Domantas Sabonis will be going into that following season with just 1 year left on his deal.
So Sabonis has
this year and next.
Yeah. And you got to think from that point of view too, because regardless of what happens with Fox after this year, if there's been no extension, nothing like that, if Sabonis is in quote unquote a lame duck year, that's going to be the whole storyline.
Well, then that is you're looking to trade those guys up. You have to rebuild again.
Right.
You're not going to be able to trade those guys and retool to a playoff team. That's just not going to be a thing.
Yeah, because everything right now feels like this is the plan. Like the plans are always evolving, but I think the plan is they've got themselves a cornerstone center that's still young, that's been an all-star, that they hope can rekindle that, and they believe they've got a point guard that could be in that all-star type mode. Those are the 2 foundation pieces until others develop to surpass them or they have to change course. But that's the 2 anchor pieces to me.
And in addition to Fox and in addition to the whole Sabonis thing, it's truly in play that if that were to happen, which would be an absolute nightmare, if now all of a sudden you got to move Fox next year, or you do move Fox, and internally at least Sabonis goes to Monty or whoever's there, and says, "Yeah, I'm opting out." Now you want to see the Halliburton truthers come out in full force.
I think at that point, it's not even the Halliburton truthers you have to worry about. It's just the fan base in general telling them, all right, time for another rebuild. We've missed the playoffs for 17, 18 years, and guess what? You got another 3 at the bare minimum. Boy, is that a scary scenario.
And they're trying to catch up to the playoff luminaries like Oklahoma City, Detroit, Houston.
Yeah.
That are all
just going by them.
Mid-seeds. San Antonio's back. San Antonio led by Victor Wembanyama is a 5.
Again, it can get real ugly if this core of Sabonis and Fox can't get this team in the playoffs. Watch out.
Well, and let me put a full stop on this while we still have time in the segment. Those are worst case scenarios before we're going down this path of what's on the bad side.
Sure.
What's on the good side is you've now got that Kentucky backcourt reunited in Fox and Monk, which really doesn't matter. But Monk showed an ability to be a very efficient shooter last year, as did Kevin Herter. Monty McNair said the biggest things they're going to add in the offseason are shooting and then maybe a little bit of defense. And Keegan Murray, you have to count that as a defensive upgrade, certainly not of a Davion Mitchell type of defensive upgrade.
Defensive upgrade on this team really isn't saying much.
It means you play some sort of defense. But and we've said this before, Mike Brown is arguably their biggest defensive upgrade.
I think so.
And the biggest question for Mike Brown going in, and that's how we led into the segment. Mine, who on this team is going to play defense for me? And by me, I mean Mike Brown.
Right.
That's the question I'm asking at training camp. I know Sabonis and Fox are going to be good. I know what they can do. Keegan's going to be a rookie. Harrison Barnes is going to show up with his lunch pail every day and do his thing. We know that. Who's going to play defense?
Yeah, I think that's why, at least on the surface, what looks to be good depth on the team is encouraging, because I think on some of those other position battles, let's take Trey Lyles versus Chimezie Metu. Who's defending better? Like those guys, right? I mean, they're not starting, but if that is your next or second, and next coming in off the bench in the front court, which one's going to defend better?
For about a split second, I was like, why is the Niners quarterback? You said Trey Lyles, and I just in my head thought Trey Lance. Yeah, I'm even messing up names you do. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up some of the fun and not so fun from the day, including, if you missed it, Pete Rose in Philadelphia. The Mets get scarier than a scary movie. And it's almost fantasy football time here. Not to mention the news, notes, all kinds of anniversaries, including one of my favorite ones. It's going to happen this last half hour next.
You ask for more 49ers coverage, and Sactown Sports 1140 listen.
Let's go, Niner gang.
Get all the latest 49ers news and notes online at SactownSports.com. Plus, make sure to follow us on IG at Sactown1140 for Emil Fergoso's live post-game show following every game.
That is what we expect out of the Niner gang. Niners win!
Your home for the most 49ers coverage in Sacramento.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Advantage miles? Go to standuptocancer.org/American.
Got a take?
Make sure it's a hot one.
Take a shot right now.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
News and notes coming up. News and notes coming up in just a few minutos. Jacob deGrom made his triumphant return. I have no love for the Mets. I don't hate them. I don't really have any good feelings towards them. They're just there. If anything, my favorite thing about the Mets is Marty McNeil rooted for them.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, late great Marty McNeil. But they certainly made some changes last year. They got a lot of players on that team, including
thank you, ownership.
Yeah, thank you. That's the example of what an owner that spends money can do for you, including Darren Ruff, by the way. Big acquisition for them. But Jacob deGrom has been the issue, is he's just had a lot of injuries. He's 34 years old. You wonder, what would he look like coming back in August, throwing his first real innings of the year? Not his first appearance back for sure, but in his second appearance, the dude was just absolutely lights out. Lights out, Jason. 5 2/3, obviously on a pitch count, 76 pitches. He gave up a hit and a walk. And unfortunately, that hit and that walk turned into 2 earned runs off the home run by Dansby Swanson. But if you're rolling out Jacob deGrom, who, if he's on, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion, still the best pitcher in baseball, still the most unhittable pitcher in baseball, and you're rolling out a Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, Carlos Carrasco, Chris Bassett, or flip-flop those two in the postseason, and you got Edwin Diaz, who is almost unhittable, 1.39 ERA with 26 saves for Edwin Diaz. He's just about unhittable this year. He's pitched 45 innings, Jason. I guess strikeouts. 45 innings.
64.
91.
Wow.
That's over 2 strikeouts an inning.
Yeah.
Think about that. 45 innings pitched. He's averaging basically exactly 2 strikeouts per inning. That's a scary, scary team. Now, is it Dodgers scary? But I'm already, we talk about getting excited for the postseason. Mets, Braves, Dodgers, Padres. I don't know, throw in a Cardinals or a Brewers.
Yeah.
But just Mets, Dodgers, Padres alone.
Well, and it's the pitching, right? That's when you get to the postseason. So if you go out there, like you said, with Scherzer, with a healthy deGrom, even Chris Bassett, who they added, Carrasco, Walker, they've got a really good pitching staff. If they get the hitting that they need, Mets are going to be a problem. And I just think the Mets are going to be a problem for a while, because I think they're going to do this. And if they come up short, they're going to add whatever they need in the offseason.
Yes,
and even if they win, I think they're going to add whatever they need in the offseason.
Between the Dodgers and the Mets, people are going to make a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money. Pete Rose was in Philadelphia. We talked about this earlier, but we don't expect you to listen to the entire show. We hope you do, but we don't expect you to. He was in Philadelphia over the weekend. The delayed honoring of the 1980 World Series championship team included Pete. And a reporter from the Philadelphia Inquirer, a woman, asked him a question about the allegation that he had relations with another woman when she was a minor. Pete's response was, quote, "It was 55 years ago, babe." The reporter tweeted later yesterday that after the ceremony, Rose asked her if he had offended her, offered to sign 1,000 baseballs for forgiveness.
Oh, nice.
And then ultimately said he was sorry. The AP asked him another question. He blew that off. Quote, "Who cares what happened 50 years ago? You weren't even born, so you shouldn't be talking about it because you weren't born. If you don't know a damn thing about it, don't talk about it." Okay. Yeah, and in case you don't know what we're talking about, the allegation was that back in 1973, Pete Rose, when the now woman was 14 or 15, had encounters in Cincinnati that lasted several years. She also alleged that Rose met her in locations outside Ohio. Now, he acknowledged in 2017 that he did have a relationship with her, but he said it started when she was 16, which is the age of consent in Ohio. And at the time, just to, a little cherry on top of that story, he was in his mid-30s and had 2 children. Pete Rose, not a good human.
No, and that's not surprising to hear, is it?
It is not in the slightest surprising. And for him to say, It was 55 years ago, babe.
Yeah.
To a female reporter, it's just
tone deaf.
You just got to put Pete in a home.
Yeah, and stop putting him on broadcast.
Yeah.
Stop inviting him to these things, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
He was on the broadcast for the Phillies. I'm glad you asked. And he either forgot or didn't care that there's some things you can't say on a broadcast.
They said, Tony, congratulations. What did you hit? And Tony says, Joe, I hit a high fastball. And Joe didn't know what to say. Joe said, no shit.
That's looped out to right field.
You changed the subject real quick on that loop out to right field.
I'm just describing the action.
Pretty sure we don't have a 7-second delay. So,
Ooh.
Pete was the only one laughing, by the way, too.
I think Pete was drunk, but that's just me.
I think odds are pretty good.
But also drunk or buzzed in 81. Tough to tell sometimes.
Yeah. Filter goes away.
Yeah.
It's the laugh that gave it away, not necessarily the filter. It was the laugh that he had drunk old man laugh.
Well, and you know what? Take away the whole disgusting relations with the thing and the betting and okay, the broadcast in a vacuum. Okay. That's a fun story to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfiltered. It's a fun story in the dugout.
Right.
Behind the scenes.
Or cleaned it up if you're going on the air with it.
Sure. You say what you he's not saying, he's saying it's a blank high fastball. Okay. All right. LOL. Okay. It's baseball. It's athletes. It's whatever. I didn't catch anything there unless I missed it. That was incredibly effective, but you got to know where you're at.
Right.
You got guys trying to do a job. You have kids watching the game. Guess what? They don't, you might think it's okay. The general public does not think that's okay. So Pete not helping.
From the YouTube chat, Mike Barnbaum coming in with some fire regarding Pete Rose. Pete Rose is not a good human. He needs to be institutionalized.
Whoa.
He is obviously in some different world.
He's in a different world. I'm trying to figure out what.
If Mike Barnbaum doesn't like you, you are a bad person.
That's a great point right there. Trying to figure out what MC is saying. I don't know if I want to on the YouTube chat. I'm trying to get him to clarify. But that's the thing. That's MC's MO. Speaking of, he'll say something, and then I ask him what does he mean, and then he just kind of defers. He just kind of obfuscates. And I just say what you just. I'm asking you what you mean. I want to make sure I clarify what your point was, so I can know what you meant. Just say the thing and stand by it. Nick Faldo is done broadcast for now.
For now. Yeah, probably done.
I do not think LIVs, and does not seem like an LIV situation.
No.
Longtime co-voice of golf along with Jim Nance signed off this weekend, before the FedEx Cup playoffs. Here's how it sounded.
Thanks to all the crew. As I affectionately and respectfully call you the workers. They put the pictures out. We do the rattling. We have an easy job. Mm-hmm. Thank you all. I'm a single child, and I've found at 65 3 brothers. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Bless you.
Oh, Ian Baker Finch.
Came to and we were
earlier.
I think it's when Nancy gets a little choked up at the end that kind of gets me a little bit.
Well, Nance, the longer part of it, Nance was doing a good job of okay, Nick just can't get through this, so he would keep it going. But then I think once he finally got through it, I think Nance,
it
hit Nance a little bit too.
Well,
hello, friends.
It's one of those moments where I think it's extremely difficult for an announcer because you want Faldo to have the moment, and there is this real tightrope between let him have the moment and let the pause happen, let him gather himself, but you also want to hang him out to dry.
Right.
You heard him kind of start to break in a little bit there after a silence. You don't have the cadence there because you're not used to being on the air with your partners in tears.
Yeah, the part earlier where Nick can't get it together, I think Nance is kind of doing that. He's like, well, he's talking to the other two guys up in the booth. You've had a relationship with Nick as well, and so they're starting to go, but then Nick's like, I got it now. Right. And then, it's a tough one.
He did a wonderful, wonderful job. It's big shoes to fill, and I haven't even started. I honestly haven't given much thought as to who they're going to grab. I don't even know if they could have announced it. I didn't hear it, but that's that's the number 2 spot. That's the John Madden spot for golf, to be honest with you. The number 1 analyst spot. We'll take a break. When we come back, we've got news. We've got birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
We've got
Got it all.
anniversaries. We've got the whole thing. But right now, I get to, for the first time today, talk about my friends at American Energy. $2,500. What could you do with it? Just think about that for a second. Let's play a game. $2,500. What could you do? I think a lot of things. I think we could all use $2,500. Nobody sits around saying, "Hey, what do you want to do this week?" I know. I want to replace my air conditioning system. I want to get a new HVAC. Nobody does that. But the bottom line is, it happens. And better to have it happen on your own rather than in the midst of summer and being without AC for a couple weeks because everybody's AC is out. Let American Energy help you. A $2,500 rebate on a new home system installation. Listen, you get a high quote about replacing that HVAC system? You feel it's time to replace it? Contact American Energy, your second opinion partner. Now, in addition to the $2,500 rebate, there's also 0%, zero down financing options. It's the best deal out there for the equipment. It's the best deal out there. So why would you not want to, A, save money, B, get fantastic service? How do I know? Go to Google. Go to Yelp. Go to the Better Business Bureau where they have an A-plus rating. But they're also local. Sacramento, been serving the area since 1981. Jason Ross is 30 years old. Just a young strapping lad. AmericanEnergyAir.com or 916-520-9990. That's 916-520. 9990 AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. When we get back, news and notes after this.
The start of the NFL season is upon us, and Sactown Sports 1140 has all your coverage.
Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and of course, all the NFL action every Sunday.
Your home for the NFL all season long. Sactown Sports 1140. Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not.
It's not good.
Brought to you by American Energy Air and Solar, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Who's hot?
Who's hot?
Jake DeGrom. Not Jacob. Jake DeGrom.
Wow, Jake.
This is a Jake stat if I've ever seen one. Yesterday, Jake made Braves hitters whiff on 18 of 20 sliders they swung at. DeGrom is the first pitcher in the pitch tracking era, which started in 2008, to have opponents swing at a single pitch at least 20 times and whiff on 90% of them.
Wow.
Who is not?
Who's not?
Who's not?
Them Yanks.
Hey.
Jason's Yankees.
Too soon.
The Cardinals are the first NL team to finish a 3-game sweep of the Yankees in 15 years. NL teams have swept the Yankees just 4 times since interleague play began in 1997.
Who's your favorite team? The Yankees?
Yes, it is. That's mean, Jay.
Yankees coming into Oakland later.
Don't blame me. Tell your team to be better.
Okay.
Wow. Well, there's ups and downs, highs and lows. It's a long season, right? Good Lord willing.
Unless you're a Dodger fan.
That was weird. News and notes right now, please.
Stand by on this frequency.
It's time for the news of the day.
Thank you for ruining the show and dropping a steamer on my journalistic integrity.
Today's important headlines, intelligent analysis, hard-hitting interviews.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
Here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Oh my God, I love those guys.
Not on this day, but we weren't on the air. But yesterday, in 2007, this happened.
Deals. And Bonds hits one high. It's a deep. It is. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
You know, I always remember, I don't know why, there's a lot to remember. There's the crowd that basically tried to kill each other for the ball.
Yep.
I always remember that Barry Bonds crossed home plate, and his son is standing there ready to hug him. And Barry meets him at the plate and immediately points to the sky, and his son just stands there for a second and then just puts his arms around his waist while Barry's still pointing to the sky. It's like, grab your kid's right.
God first, bro.
I mean,
Very second.
On this day, 30 years ago, I want to underline this, fellers. On this day, 30 years ago,
1992.
The Dream Team took gold in Barcelona.
I was there.
Barcelona.
Were you?
No.
Michael Jordan on the podium famously wore the American flag over the Reebok patch, which almost prevented him from playing. Hey, say what you want about MJ, and you can say a lot. He was pretty good to his sponsors.
Yeah, protect that bank account.
Yeah.
As far as national days go,
oh God,
it's International Infinity Day. It's never going to end. Thank you. Wow, okay.
That's courtesy.
National, thank you. International Cat Day. National Frozen Custard Day. That's not really a thing out here, is it? Frozen custard?
No.
I've had it before. It's actually
Pretty
good. You know,
How different than frozen yogurt?
well, you don't have the sour-ish, the tart.
Okay.
I guess is a better term. It's more like ice cream flavor, but just a bit of a different texture. Let me ask you guys this, and then we'll move on. Of all frozen iterations of ice cream, frozen yogurt, what are let me phrase it correctly by saying my favorite is soft serve.
Mine's just ice cream.
Just,
I like
just
soft serve
ice cream out of the.
I like them both.
Ice cream. I mean, I prefer though ice cream.
I'm
sure.
certainly not saying I don't like ice cream, but I'm saying if I could only have one, whether it's frozen custard, frozen yogurt, soft serve, ice cream out of the box, whatever it is, bowl. I think I'm taking
just a plain chocolate or vanilla soft serve over.
Or you a swirl guy.
Some sort of bedazzled ice
I
cream.
was gonna say, give me a chocolate vanilla swirl. I could put toppings on it.
Do you put sprinkles on your ice cream?
Like at home? No.
Okay.
What other toppings do you put on? Nuts,
crushed Oreos, nuts, cherries,
Reese's peanut butter cup,
whipped cream, peanut butter sauce that you melt in the microwave.
Put a ton of stuff you can put.
Oh,
on
there's
ice
all
cream.
kinds, Jason.
Okay. It's already in the ice cream.
I actually, you know what? I wonder if it would be. I've thought before about trying to get a soda fountain. I wonder, what are there like cheaper home versions of soft serve?
I gotta believe there are.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just go on Amazon.
And then what is this? What is the soft? Ooh.
Hold on, I'll look right
And
now.
what does the soft serve start as? I think it doesn't come in like a box of liquid. You just
Probably.
pour it in there and it soft serves.
Right.
Oh my God! Can you imagine having a soft serve machine at home? That's a game changer.
I think Melissa better be afraid.
That is a game changer. Finally, it sneaks some zucchini into your neighbor's porch.
Oh, David.
What?
How
give
much?
Give me the good news. Give me a good price. Low triple digits. I can pull that off.
Okay, because there's several versions. The one you could pull off.
I want the one that gives me some damn soft serve.
The Culinary soft serve ice cream maker. Make professional quality ice cream, yogurt, sorbet, and sherbet from home. It's $130 on Amazon.
But does it? You pull the lever and it looks like
looks like soft serve ice cream to me.
Yeah.
Now there's a very fancy one though.
Okay.
Very fancy. And that one's $900.
Oh, but that's going to be what you're looking for. Describe what's the reading on that? What's the read up?
Here, let me click on that one right there. Okay, let's go. This ice cream machine is equipped with a 6L capacity hopper,
6 liter,
stainless steel material, and the bottom of the hopper is designed with a sloped surface to make full use of raw materials. Wow, this thing is.
Is the $899 one?
Yeah, no, like this is legit, like something you see at a restaurant or a shop.
The Cuisinart one's $130, and it does look like soft serve.
Somebody may be purchasing something today.
All right, more on that later. We got to get celebrity birthdays, but I got to give you, this is one of my favorite anniversaries ever. You may or may not have heard of this. August 8th, 2004. The Kinsey Street Bridge in Chicago, Illinois. Right under the bridge, there's a boat that was going by. What was the boat? It was a tourist boat offering tours of the Chicago River. The boats have open roof seating where passengers sit for the duration of the tour. Little did they know that, well, the tour bus for the Dave Matthews Band was passing overhead, and the bus driver decided to dump an estimated 800 pounds of human waste from the bus's septic tank that landed directly on the passenger boat. There were 120 passengers on the boat. They received the full contents.
What a crappy experience.
The filing with the Illinois Attorney General reads as, and I'm quoting, the liquid waste was brownish yellow in color and had a foul, offensive odor. The liquid human waste went into passengers' eyes, mouths, hair, and onto clothing and personal belongings, many of which were soaked. Some of the passengers suffered nausea and vomiting as a result of the exposure to the human waste. The bus driver emptied the septic tank directly on a tourist boat, and it was full of Dave Matthews Band poopies. That is the worst.
Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to think of anything. I mean,
There's
the
nothing to
vomiting,
add on.
the stuff in your eye.
Oh, God. Celebrity birthdays.
That was the anniversary you were excited to talk about?
So excited. Just what a horrible thing. And I'm glad I wasn't there. Can you imagine? Hey, how's your day? Oh, I have
lots of thoughts I can't share.
Landed on me.
That's not like when you pull the lever on the bus. Is that what's releasing?
That's soft serve. Oh, and Stand By Me came out. We talked about that.
36 years ago.
Favorite quote from Stand By Me when you think about it?
Chopper.
Yeah, it's Chopper. It's definitely Chopper.
Yeah.
Corey Feldman had a couple in there, but it's definitely Chopper. Biggest one in 4 counties is pretty good, too. I'll leave the context out. Celebrity birthday.
All right. Today is August 8th, so we are wishing a happy birthday to my favorite tennis player of all time, tennis great Roger Federer.
Oh,
Raj.
That's 43.
I'm going to say 39.
Ty, 41.
Oh.
New York Yankees first baseman, Yankee, Anthony Rizzo.
Rizzo for Shizzo.
Dodgers haven't lost since acquiring Joey Gallo, by the way.
I'm going to say 32.
Say 31.
33.
Oh, lucky.
What's
Good guess.
Happy birthday to Backstreet. No, NSYNC. I think JC Chazes.
Chazes, yes.
Yes.
NSYNC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, locked in. How old is he today?
45.
46.
46 on the nose.
There's no way he's not getting a boy band.
All right,
question.
how about
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. You're smart.
How about Creed lead singer?
God, you'll know this.
Scott Stapp
with 2 P's.
With 2 P's and 2 T's.
Yes.
In Scott.
Yeah.
How old is he today?
Yeah, 2 of the members of Creed went to Florida State University.
Nobody cares.
2 E's in Creed.
Gosh, I don't know this. I'm gonna say he's 49.
I'm gonna say 54.
He is 49.
Wow. Told you he'd get the
I didn't know
Creed.
that.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Hello, my friends will meet again. And I said, "Roll with me."
Happy birthday to friend of the show, someone Carmichael Dave almost vomited on, Pierre Garcon.
Oh. 43.
Pierre's 38.
36.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you take me?
Happy birthday to Dustin Hoffman.
Dusty.
Dustin Hoffman is 79.
Dustin Hoffman's 81.
Dustin Hoffman is 85 today.
Wow.
How about that? Wow. Happy birthday to guitarist of U2, The Edge.
The Edge.
The Edge.
The Edge is 66.
69.
Yeah.
61.
Boom.
Oh.
One more friend of the show, Ralph Malph, who you and I interviewed.
Malph,
Donnie
yes.
Most from Happy Days.
Is 79.
83.
Wow. 69.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, he's
really aged him.
Yeah.
He's young.
Want one more?
Yeah.
John from Poncha John, Larry Wilcox from Chips.
74.
76.
In between. 75.
75. That's it for Jason. For Jay, I'm Carmichael Dave. That segment was for Scott Marsh. We'll see you tomorrow. Jim Rowe is next. Bye-bye now.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports 1140. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people that play the